And that was the third lawn gnome removed from my rectum that weekend.
I'll kill you and no
Only
one will ever
3?
believe it.
Welcome, everyone, to the Captain's Table. My name is Paul, Berserker01, Batman Shelley, your humble host, and space bartender here at the Astropub.
Wait, when did you become Batman?
That's my middle name, Paul B.
Yeah.
Shelley. Paul Batman Shelley. It's literally my middle name. I have the best parents of all time. That's why. Deal with it.
He's not really Batman. I don't believe it.
Oh, really?
Batman is more
And
an
if you
ideal,
are, can I
okay?
be Robin? I'll wear the costume for those billions of dollars.
He just
You'll be
wishes he
fine.
was that cool. He's not that cool.
I wish, yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for coming in. Welcome, everyone. My name is Paul. This is my Astropub. This is the Captain's Table, which is a Star Citizen podcast where I bring members of the community together to talk about Star Citizen. Mostly it's an excuse for a bunch of friends of mine to get together and drink beers and eat shit and just talk about Star Citizen generally, loosely. But, you know, why not? It's I try to bring everyone around the community and have a good time.
Friends.
They talk about it loosely.
Star
I've been busting
Citizen.
them Kegels. I like to keep it tight.
Yeah. So for those of you guys who are new, who have never watched this before, if you guys are coming in from Space Week this last week or whatever, it's a loose podcast in which we go about for 2 hours. The first hour we just discussion amongst the different panel members, and then after that we do a question and answer session with the audience. If you get exclamation point questions, exclamation point question, or exclamation point question mark in chat, all of those 3 things will actually bring up a form for you to fill out if you want to ask a question for myself, any of the individual cast members, or overall the whole cast if you want to. There's got a couple of caveats in there, but before that, let's get down to business and actually introduce everyone. I'm going to save the worst for last, and we're going to go with C Dizzle. C Dizzle, who are you? Where do you come from? And why are you Mr. AYYYYYYYYYYYYYYY?
Hey, it's your boy, C Dizzle. I guess I come from originally Dallas, but I've lived in Colorado my whole life. I don't know. That's weird.
What do you do in Star Citizen?
I play Star Citizen on my computer with a dirty mouse and keyboard like a pleb, and I'm in the same org as the Nubifier, which you guys may have heard of, and I stream it from time to time when my internet's not shitting the bed.
Like right now. This is why he's so
Yeah.
sad. Yeah. Alrighty, and Grocky's
Who's got an A emote?
an A emote? Oh,
Oh my god. Okay, so
it's
I've
Twitch
heard
Presents. It's Twitch Presents.
something. That's amazing.
That's from the from Power Rangers, I think. Yeah, Power Rangers.
Yeah, and it's I.
Aye.
It's
Yeah.
Alpha.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
That makes
It's
sense.
Alpha 5.
That's pretty close.
Aye.
So
Okay.
next we have the man, the myth, the hugger himself, Grocky's. Who are you? What do you do in Star Citizen? All sorts of things.
I'm Grocky's. I hug everything. And for those that don't know what hugs are, it means going at a high velocity into another ship, artfully causing death and destruction. Some people call it ramming. No, it's hugs. Get the name right. I stream Star Citizen from time to time. There are other games I stream as well. I'm completely obsessed with Overwatch. And right before this show, I streamed D&D as the DM to the host of this show, making him do horrible and disgusting things. And then he does them himself anyway.
Alrighty, and next we have the man who is beyond repute, the Black Jurassic himself, the self-proclaimed and anointed ambassador to Star Citizen, Black Jurassic Fastcart. Who are you?
Please
What do you
continue.
do?
May continue.
I can call you the
Fastcart-
Helix, but
Oh, no. Just wanted. I'm Bashcard, also known as FG. I'm moderator for a bunch of streamers. I also maintain a Star Citizen package chart that I got MVP a couple of years ago. And I sometimes appear on different streams. I was on Relay Station earlier today, for instance. And I'm on the base radio a lot. That's about it.
awesome.
So
Yeah.
you make a lot of bad decisions, is what I'm hearing.
He came on here. This is not the first time he's come on here, so of course he's made a lot of bad decisions. All of you have
Could be
made bad
worse. You
decisions.
could be a test.
I think this is
member.
my fourth or fifth time here. Yeah.
Oh God, a lot of bad decisions.
And then we've got Delvac. Who are you, Delvac? What are you doing?
You couldn't even.
I can't even hype it.
Wait. Oh, holy crap!
He's doing an Archer. All right.
Okay.
All right, Archer.
Hey, that was supposed to last the entire show. So here I am. I'm still back. What's going on? Unlike C Dizzle, I'm not gonna tell you where I come. That'd be weird.
The show has officially started now.
I get around to a lot of places in Star Citizen community. I'm like Fastcart. I'm a member of Relay. I feel around a whole bunch of places. I'm working on some of my own weird endeavors right now, which you might see very soon in the near future. Who knows? Maybe not. And that's about that. I'm a walking trash man. And that's about it.
So you're working on more endeavors than CIG?
Oh, that was bad. That was bad.
Disadvantage.
Dude,
Yeah.
the Steven joke was better than that.
Oh no, it was good.
That was a good pun though. It was a good pun. Now, for those of you guys again who don't know how this works, what the Captain's Table is a small podcast where it's about 2 hours. We talk about Star Citizen specifically, and then we move on from Star Citizen discussion amongst ourselves to discussion, taking questions and answers from the audience. I'm not planning on having this be a 3-hour podcast because last week's was 3 hour. 2 weeks ago it was a 3-hour podcast, and I wanted to shoot myself. It was fantastic and fun, but when you're sitting here for 3 hours discussing Star Citizen intensely, it can get kind of draining.
And let's be honest, what has Star Citizen done in the past 3 months that warrants 3 hours of talking?
To
about
be
it?
fair, we hadn't done anything for 2 weeks, and the best ATV ever had happened the 2 weeks before that.
Oh, okay.
So we had that to talk about.
Okay.
So that was to be fair, but
And
and
the cast was pretty stellar as well.
mm-hmm,
We're dropping the ball, guys.
yeah, this is a step down because I'm still here.
When is the new host coming on?
What's going on? Hey, Ricky.
Fuck you.
What's going on?
Shit. I thought you were going to take the show a step up.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no! Oh yeah! I'm
No.
sorry.
The path has long since been started on. It's far too late for that.
That ship has sailed long before. I'm just trying to make sure that we can actually have some content up so people can see it, other than just our ridiculous heads.
My head is wonderful. The beard. It grows.
It grows. The beard is it's more than Flint's beard. Oh,
Beard Crew holla.
Yeah, there's so much beard.
Yeah, everyone
All of
has
us.
a beard, did I?
There's
Yeah,
not a
all of us have the beard.
There's not a bearded one among us.
there we go.
Let's just hope it doesn't turn into feathers, right?
Oh yeah.
I'll go shave
Oh,
right
you
now.
did see that.
Yeah.
I have a razor. I can go get it and shave right here on stream.
Oh, he has shaved on stream before.
I have done
Don't
that
tempt
before.
him. Don't tempt
So
him.
have I. Right in the
Alrighty.
middle. I ended up with the chops.
Let's just all throw our stream dicks around, why don't we?
So
No, dude, it's my face. Don't go there.
Wait, no, let's actually not do that. Let's not get the Astro Pup banned.
oh,
Yeah, I'll do it on this channel.
Welcome to the last Captain's Table.
table ever. So
Every week.
the big thing I want to talk about, we'll leave the gorilla of 3.0 into the room, the 3.0 possible releasing or schedule reports or no 2.7 or whatever the fuck they want to talk about that they said in the last 2 days, out of the room. Let's first talk about the ATV. And I do want to say, did you or did you not enjoy the somewhat cringy Drake Caterpillar or Drake Cutlass kind of like expose?
I didn't think it was cringy. So I was okay with it.
It was.
The only thing that was confusing to me was I was wondering whether or not that was Sandy's voice as the the
Oh, it was
head
Sandy.
of the CEO. Was
It was-
that Sandy?
That was Sandy.
Look, if
Yeah.
you ever have to ask
That was
yourself,
Sandy.
is this voice Sandy in Star System? It's
Probably
Sandy.
Sandy.
Yeah.
I would say all of it was good, except for that little like between the reporter and the CEO was kind of like
The Sandy
forced.
part, that's what I'm
Yeah,
talking
it was
about.
very forced. You know, it was like it was obvious someone had just like rushed it through rather than sat down and worked on it and made sure it was like, oh, we gotta get this done. Let's get it done. Get the recording.
Yeah,
Blah, blah, blah,
it
done.
was definitely nowhere near up to the same level as the grand tour style thing that they did.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Underscore confirmed that Sandy and Max CIG.
Okay.
So, like, when it comes to that whole the Drake thing, I have mixed feelings about it. In itself, as a self-contained, little expose, little one-time nugget, I thought it was fine. I thought quality-wise, it was fine. As a fast turnaround time thing, I thought it was totally fine. A lot of people found it cringy. That thought never really crossed my mind.
It was enough cringy that it was like I understand what they're doing. I'm not. No one really was like. I don't think anyone would be really angry about it. But I like these parts before that because I think the other two designers, Sherman and why am I always forget his name? Coons, yeah, and Coons. Sherman and Coons
Yeah.
did a fantastic job of like trying to stay in lore while talking about the Kylos.
Well, one thing that I'm not really dislike about ATV, but just kind of I kind of slightly take issue with is I feel like almost every single episode of ATV shifts what the show is supposed to be. Because if you remember back a couple weeks ago when the big crazy one started, which was the start of them being like, hey, we're gonna roll the monthly report into ATV, right?
Yeah.
What is ATV supposed to be? Is it supposed to be a news show? Is it supposed to be a backer update, in-depth backer update, or is it supposed to be marketing to us? And I feel like they can't decide that.
They
So
really need a design doc for ATV.
Yeah, it kind of changes every single week. So it's like, hey, this time we're gonna market the hell to you, and maybe there's not a whole lot of meat on the bone. This ATV.
Well, maybe the problem is they're confusing. They're getting happy hour confused with ATV updates because happy hour changes every week also. So,
Well, yeah,
I'm okay with.
I'm totally fine with happy hour being whatever the hell they want it to be.
Yeah.
But ATV, now that they have officially kind of pushed the are putting
Monthly
less
update.
effort. Yeah, and I feel almost entitled a little bit to hey, you gotta kind of make good on this stuff. So let's cut the marketing. Let's cut the I don't think they maybe they're kind of missing this thing, but no one watches ATV that hasn't already bought in.
No, that's true. It's for sure.
So you don't have to market to us. You don't have to sell it to me anymore. Just
well, the thing is, there are different game sites, quote unquote game site, to do post articles about ATV. So there are they still have to try to draw in new players and
I think that they're maybe going down the wrong path with that because I don't think the way to do that is necessarily who was that Drake thing for? And once again, I don't think that thing was necessarily of bad quality. I just think that maybe there wasn't an audience for it, because okay, it's a Drake thing. I don't care really. I don't hate it, but I don't love it.
It was.
I'd rather that time not be. It's clearly kind of filler. What?
Well, the thing is, if they do the same thing for Mist or Origin or Sorry, I'd be down for that. I'm not a Drake fan, but for the other three, yeah.
I would be okay with that, but they already have lore outlets for that stuff,
Or if they were releasing a new Drake.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, they already have those weekly lore posts. And
it splits. It was not really marketing. It was leaning more towards trying to do a lore thing, but it didn't quite hit because it felt like it needed polish.
Mhm.
It was some weird spot in between.
But what it was hype for.
Seemed to have
it was hype for a Drake sale. That's what it was. It was
Mhm.
Exactly.
Sale. And so the thing is,
The email that came out was more
Yeah.
direct on that.
no one that is going to that's not going to get anyone in. That's not going to buy it. And if it did, that person maybe doesn't make best judgment calls with their money. The stuff that would sell someone like me on the game was that first UK ATV with all the crazy ship details. I'm like, okay, shit, I'm in on this, right? like a little dialogue back and forth isn't what's going to sell me on the game. So even if it kind of, to me, it kind of came off as like a marketing thing, but even then, I don't think it necessarily hit.
Money spending decisions amongst Star Citizen backers probably isn't the best like meter.
I think the biggest issue was straight up that it felt like it was rushed to a Drake sale for sure, but it was also there to try to update. They were trying to do something different, because normally what they would have done is they would have said, hey, this is the new Drake Cutlass update, but they're like, let's do something fun and different, and let's try to do something as it's like it's in lore. And like, we were going to get that update anyways, and people wanted to see the updates and see like how they've changed it around and those sorts of things. But they made it in lore, and I don't think it was really. I mean, it was going to be there for promoting the Drake sale anyways, because we all know that the next update, whatever it is going to be, is going to have the Cutlass in it. It feels like that was a video that basically said, hey, the Cutlass is done, the work's done, we're going to release it next. That's what it was.
That Cutlass. I can't wait to see what they do with the Cutlass Blue. Yeah.
So and that's the thing, is that I think but I think it was a misreading on that part. I don't think it was a bad idea. I just think it was, and I think honestly, how ATV works is that ATV is whatever the fuck they want it to be, outside of the updates, the monthly updates, and that's what they're going to do. And it's going to be a living event, or a living video series as it goes along. I mean, remember how ATV started versus what it is now? It's been through 4 or 5 different revisions, and when the game gets closer to release, we won't need the constant monthly updates based on what the game's being done. We're just going to want to see, we probably won't even need a weekly ATV anymore. It'll be more like a monthly ATV sort of thing.
Then I feel like it's a mistake to brand it.
Well, I mean, you need the brand for the number of years. We're still probably a couple of years out before release happens, and it's a mistake to keep it in one stagnant thing. I think it's a mistake to say like, hey, ATV is this one thing and it's going to stay like this forever, because we know it's not. But I don't know. That's
I would agree with you. Like, in general, I do agree with you. I do think that they kind of have a responsibility, like with that move. And maybe they didn't like realize this at the time. With that move that they made like a month ago, with the UK push to like, hey, we're not doing the monthly report anymore, and we're gonna roll into ATV and that kind of stuff. So ATV is gonna get a lot better. And then they released that first one and they nailed it, right?
Mm-hmm.
We always knew that, like, hey, you can't always nail it, right?
Yeah.
So there are going to be off weeks. There's going to be down weeks. But honestly, we haven't really had a repeat of that UK episode, right?
No, and I don't think we'll ever have a repeat of that UK episode.
Which is kind of what they
until maybe the next UK episode.
Yeah, no, I don't even think, like... Go ahead, sorry.
I mean, like something of that quality is, like, if you're going to commit to that level, you have to maintain that quality.
Mm-hmm. And
that's something they haven't really done. And it's just,
Well, the biggest issue is that at the end of the day, every studio has been around once. At this point, every studio's been around once for their monthly report. And month to month doesn't have huge jumps, but we didn't have a video monthly report until March. So they had 2 months of development, and we really didn't have any kind of monthly report stuff in December. So we really had 3 months of complete build-up before they actually released this video monthly report. And that means that they showed off a lot more stuff last month than they would have shown in this month. Like, even this month's UK thing is going to be kind of disappointing, probably, because it's going to be a lot of the same stuff we've already seen before, because a lot of stuff isn't done yet. We may see some new things here and there. Like, we saw about the Outpost a couple times last month. This month, we see the Outpost, them talking about the Outpost, and it's interesting, and it's more in depth, but it's basically the same stuff that we've heard before. There's nothing brand new. However, it does feel like the Outposts now are more like, hey, these are done. Like, we are finished with them. This is the first iteration. It's going to be released to you guys soon. Like that felt more of a this is what's done rather than this is what's happening.
Yeah, for this ATV, I was much more interested in the Cutlass stuff than the. Some people like the Outpost stuff.
Yeah,
I'm a little like, I'm iffy on Outposts. Like, I don't hate them to death, right?
I don't hate them either. I'm just saying
it's just definitely not something like just due to their nature, right? The stuff I will always be more interested in Star Citizen is like the handcrafted areas, the handcrafted content, and so like all the modular stuff that they're talking about right now, it's not really what I'm in for. And like I totally understand from like a pure game design reason that it's like, hey, we realistically cannot do this unless we have like a team of 10,000 people back there pumping out art assets. It's unreasonable, right? So we have to kind of like do some modular stuff, and even realistically, that's how things would be built in a real, like, if we have.
That's how we build it now in space. Like the ISS is built out of components that are all basically cookie cutter.
So, but like that kind of stuff is just like no one's ever going to spend time there. So whatever.
Yeah,
we're going to spend a lot of time there.
No, I don't think so.
We won't spend. It'll be
outposts.
Outposts? I don't think so.
I think
that's the majority of your landing spots, most likely.
It depends on what you're doing.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think we're looking with Outpost. You're probably looking at a place that you're going to see a lot, but you're not going to see them. You're not going to spend a lot of time there. Meaning, like, you'll see them, but you're not going to spend hours just inside an outpost. You'll go outpost to kind of find new stuff. Like, you might go to a distress beacon that's being activated in an outpost that's nearby.
Kill two guys, grab a black box, get out.
Yeah, or rescue some civilians and get out, or something like that. You'll see them a lot, but you won't be spending. It's not like your ships where you're going to be spending literally hours inside your ships.
And it's the same thing that they're talking about with like the stations, where they're literally referring to them as truck stops. You don't hang out at a truck stop. You gas up. You get.
Hey,
ammo,
you know what?
Even if there's an.
Go ahead, Dragons.
Even if there's an in and out situation with a lot of the outposts, like you have to go to this type outpost, which has been tweaked because it's a bad, like mercs are there and stuff, so they've added some, flair and art assets. You start to notice it if it's repetitive, because I'm thinking of things like City of Heroes, City of Villains. When you'd run the missions in that, they had very cookie cutter template areas, and even though you spent more time hanging out in the cool open city, like doing a lot of the stuff, you run your missions there, and over time it gets very, very noticeable if they don't put time into those assets to at least switch them up, change the art inside, and show off what's going on there. That becomes very, very visible, even though it's an in and out situation, because you do end up spending more time there than you think, and because you repeat it enough times, you start to notice it over time if it's very, very much the same thing. So the more work they can put into making it tweak, the better it's going to be for our experience.
And at the same time, it's also going to be procedural. Like, at the end of the day, that's the big thing, is that all of these will be procedurally generated. So you won't see the same layout necessarily twice, but you'll see similar layouts. And then at the end of the day, you're going to expect that, because some layouts are going to be like, hey, this will be the Explorer layout. This will be the Settler layout. This is the layouts that make sense, in the sense of, like, you're going to see some very generic outposts. Like, a truck stop is a truck stop is a truck stop. You go to a gas station, you generally know how a gas station is laid out in a truck stop area, because and that's the key. It has to be uniform so people know where to go. Oh, I see that this is the store, and so there's probably a bathroom somewhere, either around back or somewhere inside there. I know that one of those two things is probably true at 100% of the truck stops anywhere in the United States, if not the world. They have pretty similar layouts to anything you need to do. And that's the other thing you want to do, is you don't want it to be cookie cutter, but at the same time, if you're going to a settler, like a village, you want to be able to know, okay, I know the living room is here, I know the bedroom is here, and I know the kitchen's probably either here or here. So as long as I look around, okay, the kitchen's over here instead of over here, because it's this layout instead of that layout. So you'll know them, and it'll make sense in the lore, without it being too, like, jarring. I think that's the key.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, sorry. Like, there's a game that's big on Twitch right now. It's PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. I'm sure like anyone who ever looks at video games has seen gameplay of that thing now. I've actually been playing a lot of it because I actually really like it. But here's the thing: is there's like maybe 5 houses in that entire game.
Yeah, repeated.
And they actually do a really good job of laying out the village, like the building placements. So like this group of like 6 buildings or like 10 buildings in like a little town will be, or like this little compound will feel very different than anywhere else. But if you actually get inside one of the buildings, it's like this thing is totally like this is exactly the same building as I was just in over there. Like exactly, like there's literally no changes.
That's how it is in real life, though.
If Star Citizen can have that level of like hey, the interiors are also kind of different, and like you can have that cool variety of like building placement, then I think like it'll be. I think that layer over time is something that's necessary if you want that longevity. So I'm glad that they understand that.
Yeah, I think the big key is to Daisy, because that style is the Daisy or the Arma style, and I think that's what they should be shooting for. Is like Arma. You're going to see the same type of buildings, and they should be the same layouts on the inside or similar layouts on the inside, but they're going to be placed differently depending on where they are. And that should, and they actually can go even the next step and be like, we can rearrange this whenever we want, because this airlock meets this airlock, and this airlock meets this airlock, and this airlock meets this airlock. So we can place it probably kind of like Sims. The new Sims, when you put new rooms together, they kind of click together like Legos rather than like. Even though they said, I think he even said it, we can't think of them like Legos. They have to think of them like something else or whatever. But they're basically like that. They're fully functional. In rooms that can click together in any sort of format.
If
Minecraft Star Citizen Edition.
Yeah.
If you've ever like looked at another MMO, like as an example, World of Warcraft, most of the places you spend your time are these handcrafted areas, right? Like big cities, like they are have a lot of effort put into them, a lot of detail. And they're bigger, and they feel like actual kind of places. The kind of places that you grab a quest and then you fuck off to go murder 6 boars are actually like, hey, it's like the Barians is just like 5/10 repeated in like different formats. There's like actually like no handcrafted content. They're just like placing shit down. Like, hey, what zone is this supposed to be in? This zone? Okay, it means we use these buildings. Plunk that shit down. Now it's a quest hub. Get in, get out, get your vendor your trash, pick up some food, and get out. That's what,
like I said,
that cycle is.
Like I said, I think it depends on the person, because you described that. That's the place where you spend your time. I spend my time mostly around the auction house.
Yeah,
and that's mostly cookie cutter, cut and paste.
But even if you look at a game like Witcher 3, where like pretty much everything's fucking handcrafted, I don't remember any of the fucking places where I go in to get quests. I just remember the cities. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I remember landscapes all goddamn day long. Like, the bridge is definitely over there. And shit.
I remember the
Like,
first town. So.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't remember any of the little, like, shops that I, like, that one
Where's
day
the-
I
where's
get
the
this super
herbalist
crazy
trainer?
sword
I don't
from.
know.
I don't know what
Yeah.
I don't know what his little sword shop looks like, but
Yeah, exactly.
I remember all the quests and the areas I had to do the quests in.
Well, I mean, the question is, how many times did you visit that sword shop? Because say you're playing on the Fringe because you found a really good mining spot, and the closest place is an outpost. So now you got to go back and forth between your mining spot and that 25, 30 times. You're going to start to notice if the outpost looks crappy. And then you got to do that at like 12 different systems, and you see the exact same outpost over and over with the same interiors. That gets wearing. So that's why showing it off, I have to disagree. It's important because a lot of the gameplay, especially if there's long travel times to get back to those major cities, is going to be more, you're going to earn more playing out in the outer areas, and that's where you're going to run into more outposts. You're going to want to see the big cities, but you're not going to make your best money there.
No, I think, yeah, and this is actually an interesting conversation, more of an interesting spark than I thought it was going to be, because I think at the end of the day, the key is that outposts are going to be important, and they're an important part. I think we're going to get a very basic version of the outpost with 3.0, and I think that should be okay. However,
Oh, hell yeah.
However, what it sounds like they've already done is they've already got like what Hellion did, which was they have 7 to 10 modular segments that are already done, and they're just going to use those to start with, and then eventually they'll add more module segments as it goes along, and as they do more, add more stuff to content for like 3.0 and beyond, 3.0.1 and all that kind of stuff. This is when we'll see that those sorts of additions, I should say. So, all right. Wow.
I just gotta say, did you see what Broken Matt 2 just?
Yeah, I was just snickering at
Interesting
that.
conversation. Delete
So anyway,
detective.
back to
Extending
the
podcast with 3
Drake.
office. Yeah.
Back to the Drake segment. That's where this came from.
Give me
no,
Cutlass.
because we were going to talk about the other stuff anyways, and I think the Cutlass looks fucking fantastic. Like hands down.
The new one looks mean.
It looks mean. I talked with Sherman. Sherman was on my stream last couple of days.
Shermanator.
And he basically said, yeah, it's a tank. It's designed to look like a gorilla that's going to punch your face in. Like, you know.
It does.
Yo, fuck that. That sounds terrifying.
It's supposed to be
engine
terrifying.
It's like they have skull faces.
It's
Have you
like
seen a
engines?
fucking gorilla?
I
Those
have.
things are huge.
Faces.
Exactly. It's going to be a gorilla that's going to punch your face in. You see a cutlass. Your response shouldn't be, oh, it's a cutlass. You should be like,
And
fuck.
and you can't.
You know,
can't
I
say
got to
anything
go
about
punch a
gorillas,
gorilla in the face like 400
Everyone
times.
knows that whenever a gorilla rushes you, it gets up to you, it disables you with its lasers, and then little gorilla minions come out of it, cut into your hole, and kill you from inside. That's how gorillas work.
If someone
can't
doesn't
mention
clip
anything
that,
about-
I'm going to be angry.
I actually did catch that on the
Sorry.
newest Discovery Channel show.
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
a good one.
The back
Oh,
hatch
it wasn't on
opens.
Animal Planet? That's why I missed it. Wait, they have a back hatch too?
Yeah,
Yes.
man. And apparently a side hatch in the
Look at
new
the
models.
blue.
The old models of gorillas don't have it, but the silverbacks do.
Amy, bad gorilla. Good gorillas go away.
Oh god.
Oh God.
Oh, what movie was that now? I'm trying to think of the name of it, but I know what you're talking about.
I'm glad someone got
I
it.
do remember that as well. It was it wasn't Outbreak, right?
No.
No.
I can
This
yell
one,
at my
they had
roommate
to-
real quick and he'll tell me.
They had to go retrieve a diamond and made a giant laser and fought gorillas with a laser.
Yeah.
I don't know that one at all.
The
Oh, it was great.
it was horribly great. I remember what it is though. I remember that.
So bad, but it was so good. I saw it when
I try to
Congo.
stay away from
Congo,
movies
yeah.
like
Chat
that.
has it. Chat has it. It was Congo.
It's Congo.
Congo? Oh, God.
Uh,
I don't think I've seen that one.
I think now if
It's
I don't
great.
see, I'm gonna be angry if I don't see someone with a name their cutlass the gorilla, you know,
Amy.
or Amy, yeah, they name their cutlass Amy as the gorilla Amy.
I'm gonna name my cutlass Amy now.
Yeah.
But, you were talking about
And
you're talking about
like
like
one
how,
silver stripe down the center. A silver back
Well, I have a
gorilla
cutlass
named
blue
Amy.
too, so I have the good gorilla.
What was that, Dovak?
you're talking
Full
about
circle.
how like the new cutlass does look a lot more impressive,
Mhm.
and it looks a lot more like the old one look kind of weak. It looks fragile. But I have kind of done a 180 on the whole Drake lineup.
Mm-hmm.
I own no Drake ships. I own a Dragonfly. That's whatever.
I own the Dragonfly.
That doesn't count.
Yeah, well, it does to me.
Everyone has 50 of those fucking things. Like they don't count.
Yeah.
But I didn't like the Caterpillar. Like I had no love for the Caterpillar back in the day. Like when that thing was shown off initially, I didn't care. I didn't care at all. Harold, I don't want to be an info runner. So like, what do
Yeah,
I
fuck
care?
that.
And like what else I got? Cutlass. Cutlass was like kind of universally disliked
Yeah.
for the longest time. So like whatever, I didn't care about that either. And then Buccaneers like, oh, okay, you know, I'm a Hornet man at heart, but I can see some appeal to the Buccaneer. It looks like a weird stubby X-wing.
Mhm.
But now it's just like I really have kind of fallen in love with the direction that everything has kind of like merged to. And something they said the other week on ATV, it's like, hey, this is the first manufacturer that actually has like all the ships in the engine now.
Yeah.
So like a few of them aren't done yet. Like Cutlass and the Dragonfly aren't
They're
in
done.
game yet.
No, they're done. They're just not in game. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just not finished. But like they're 99.99% there. So
they're actually 100% done. They just are. They're waiting to be put in for like the Dragonfly's being waiting for 3.0. They already
the
confirmed
Cutlass is talked about. I don't think it's finished yet.
that. You don't think it's finished? Okay.
I
Fucking
think
Drake. Can we get all the
They showed
manuals?
like they showed like a
Jesus.
work in progress of it,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
on ATV. So anyway,
For me, the Caterpillar was probably the first step I was kind of interested in. I didn't get one because it cost, but I was like, that seems interesting. I did get a Dragonfly, but other than that, I'm not really interested in the Drake line. That said, the new Cutlass Black, that it does pique my interest. I like the way it looks, at least especially from the front. I don't think I'm gonna get one.
That silhouette should bring out a bit of fear if that pops in out of nowhere.
Mhm.
Like, ha! Oh,
Like right now, cutlasses are. If you play Pirate Swarm and you see 3 or 4 cutlasses in the map, you're basically gonna sit there and curse yourself for hours because the second the Cutlasses show up in Pirate Swarm, that the game goes from being, hey, I'm here to play and hang out and shoot some shit and la 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 having fun, to being like it's becomes Grindfest 2017 because you have to.
Can I please get some coolers for these fucking weapons?
For these
please?
fucking weapons, I can't kill these things fast enough. and then they with 2.6.3, I swear to God, they improve the AI, because now Cutlasses will like pack attack me. Like I'll go after one Cutlass and now suddenly there are 3 behind me attacking me all at the same time with missiles. Like
they're fucking raptors.
Yeah,
it's clever girl.
There was an ATV like a while ago before the patch came out. They said like, if you haven't played Pirate Swarm yet, play it now before the new patch, because Pirate Swarm is going to get harder. They did say that.
It's fucking hard, and the Cutlass.
They can't fly in asteroids though. That's the key. Fly through the asteroids, and they
crash.
never make it out.
No, they always get absolutely shreked in asteroids.
Screw that! I'm trying to get points.
I just want to live.
You just want to make it to Wave 18.
I don't want to live if there's not points involved.
You don't get many points if you die.
The other 2 things that I want to talk about before we move on, because we are actually at about halfway through the discussion, this panel section, is thanks to another streamer, Bad News Baron, who basically got a 2-hour interview with CIG LA. We got a bunch of new information out from them.
That moment when the community stream has more information than the official end of the week stream.
Yeah. I mean, there's more information released in that stream with Bad News Baron than
that's
CIG
because those aren't
released.
Scripted.
Yeah, than has ever been released in the last since the best ATV ever, like straight up.
Dovat, get Relay to transcript that stream.
I think someone did actually.
Yeah, to go through and
There you
transcript.
go.
It's 2 hours, so
Why
it's
wouldn't they?
2.5 hours. So it's pretty epic. The one thing that I would say is that it's the big thing that came out was that 3.0 design document is in the works, meaning it should be out soon. TM, but from them
Production
saying soon,
schedule?
the
you
production
mean?
schedule, yeah, not design document. This production schedule.
Okay.
Production schedule should be out in the next couple of weeks. Now, 2.6.
fair,
We're working on it.
To be fair, Chris Roberts at the GameStar interviews, like at like January 20th, said, "Oh yeah, it'll be up by the end of January."
But it wasn't Chris Roberts who said it. It was Aaron Roberts who said it.
The right Roberts.
That's the way I feel. Like Chris Roberts. Chris Roberts says a lot of stuff, and he gets a lot of stuff wrong. And we all know we love Chris, and he's a visionary, does lots of great things. This game wouldn't exist without him. But there's a reason why Aaron's on board, and it's because everyone trusts Aaron's word more than they trust Chris. Because Chris will come up and say, the sky is going to be raining.
At least when it comes to date.
Yeah. Well, the sky is going to be raining chocolate chips in 2 months, and everyone's going to be like, all right, add 6 months.
Yo, where's Shazam at? I got a wish.
Starbreeder will be out in like 2 weeks, guys. Don't worry about
it. So I have a feeling, and I think most of the community feels like that's probably more trustworthy. And it's not just him who said it. Ben has also said it too, that they're planning on getting, like, they're not doing a 2.7, they're going straight to 3.0. They're still planning on that. So
they said they hope to.
They're planning on it. They're not.
They would like to.
Yeah, there's a planning going on to that. Now, so that still means that 2.7 could be a thing, and I still think 2.7 probably will be a thing. But at the end of the day, if we see, and this is just mine, you guys can say agree or disagree. If we see a production schedule for 3.0 out in the next 2 weeks, it's 60 days out. Straight
I highly disagree.
If we see a production schedule, they have never been wrong. They've been 1 or 2 weeks off from their production schedule ever since they've released the production schedule because of how
I see what you mean.
of how it is. I think it's still 6 months out, but if they release a production schedule because of how the program works, it only works 30 to 60 days ahead of time. After that, it becomes impossible to predict, and it's designed in sprints for how I think they use Scrum, how that works. It's designed around that, not around long-term production, but short-term production over intense production over a short period of time. So,
but Paul, how long will Jared Huckabee's beard be in 6 months? That's a long time to not shave your beard.
I mean, hey, lots of people have said, Grokis, was you who also said you wouldn't shave your beard until 3.0? Someone said that.
No, I didn't say that. Mine
Dude, oh, God.
no. Mine I'll probably save for something like a charity thing, most likely.
Yeah.
That's what I usually do with this.
I know Texas Skull said he won't shave until 3.0 is released. Like there's a lot of people who are like, yeah, I'm not going to shave until something like that. So
Step your game up, Texas Skull. Say you won't shoot anyone until 3.0 comes out. Some fucking hairs. Put your money where your fucking trigger finger is. Because I'm tired of getting smoked by that motherfucker.
Texas? He can't hit the broadside of a barn.
in Star Marine.
I must be a fucking state empire then.
Baseball beards.
But no, I mean, I don't know. Like there seems like the community seems to be really hyped about it. And my personal opinion is, even if I believed it was true, I would still look at it and say 6 months. Because if I'm wrong, then no one's going to sit around and say, ha ha, you're wrong, Paul. Though now that they say that, everyone's going to say, ha ha, you're wrong, Paul. But
Everyone here will say that. To you.
I wouldn't give a shit because I'd be like, I'm sorry, too busy playing 3.0. Fuck off. I'm wrong. Great. I was wrong. Playing 3.0. Fuck you. I'm making money. Stop talking to me.
No. When
Yeah,
we
back.
say
How about
Paul
that?
doesn't give, it's
Really
good
be
content
playing
and
3.0?
fucks.
you're
JK,
going to be
gives
spending
great
your
content.
time crashing repeatedly in 3.0.
Yes, there we go. Yeah, I will constantly. I'll have my crash counter and my timers up. For 3.0. Everyone will bring that back.
Just
so.
like 2.0.
I was there since the beginning of 2.0. I was there first wave
I
2.0.
see.
A lot of us were. We
I was
understand
too.
how that was. That was.
Oh, yeah.
That was not a game.
I-
that was a crash.
Some of
fest.
my favorite, like, because I got into Star Citizen kind of late, and I always thought it was hilarious with Paul recounting like the 2.0 memories of people taking bets of like, how long will it be this time before I crash?
Yeah.
And it was
Can
measured
we get
in
past 30
it was
seconds?
measured in minutes and half of minutes as
Yeah.
opposed to hours.
It literally took me days to get out of Port Olisar.
So how many commanders are there? There's arena commander, there's crash commander, there's missile commander,
There's loading commander.
loading commander.
Loading
Yeah,
commander.
Commander.
There'll be a different commander all together.
Oh, it'll
And there was a second missile commander.
yeah. The missile commander.
Patch full commander.
Revenge of the missiles.
The missile commander.
And
No,
then,
you
and,
have to leave over.
and now we're in Missile Commander 3, Return of the Rattlers.
Yeah.
But no, the thing about it is that, and I think this is important to understand, is that even if 3.0 comes out in 6 months or 2 months, whenever it's released, it's probably going to be unstable because it's an alpha, and even CIG has just basically not even they've not even bothered to admit that they are that anything they release is going to be stable from now on. Like they're just basically like, nope, it's unstable. Like every interview I've seen with like live operations is like, yep, we're releasing an unstable, completely janky, broken builds because it's alpha. We don't care anymore. They care about the production, the quality, but they know that it's broken, so why not release it, kind of thing. So,
And sometimes they just get more data from people, crash
Crashing.
logs or whatever.
Yep.
Broken.
We can get more data, we'll fix it faster that way.
Yeah.
It's the truth.
I do have a question.
Mhm.
We're all talking about
No.
3.0 release dates. Everyone has different view on this. Everyone has things differently. Besides the point, how long after the release of 3.0, no matter when it is, could be tomorrow, could be 9 months from now, do you think?
No, not
Squadron
tomorrow.
42 they'll
Tomorrow's
make-
Sunday.
Squadron
So-
Do you
42.
think what?
Squadron
Good.
42.
Yeah, how long between the release of 3.0 and Squadron 42? Like, what do
2
you
months.
see?
I would
Squadron 42?
say 6.
Different. They're different
Yeah.
paths.
They're not
Yeah.
actually. A lot of things.
Yeah,
To
they
some
are.
degree,
It's
they
tech
are.
dependent.
Mhm.
We-
I think is what he's
so-
getting at.
Not necessarily. So I'm actually talking about more about manpower
Mhm.
because we have two different like sprints right now. There's the rush to get 3.0 out the door, and there's the rush to get Squadron 42 out the door. And there's a lot of different things. A lot of those are connected. It's like, hey, we need this to be finished before both of them can go out the door.
But the thing is, I think
But-
like Squadron 42 personally is more connected to like CitizenCon or Gamescom rather than any kind of patch.
I'm going to be unpopular with this, and I agree with Fastcard on this one. Is that we're going to see it announced at a convention beforehand, and I'm going to be unpopular and say that the reason why that's going to be is because it will be 6 to 9 months from the announcement trailer at a convention that we will see. Because they need to build up marketing. They need to do a marketing cycle. They need to bring in content creators to show off the early builds of the game. It may not be any of us. It may be someone who's much bigger. The larger content creators who are often brought in for these sorts of events. They need to have ads that they'll show on YouTube and TV and before movies. As much as people say, nah, they don't need to do that. It's like the problem is that right now they're dipping from the same well over and over again. They need to broaden that user base, and that's what Squadron 42 is supposed to do. It's supposed to bring in fans of Mass Effect, fans of The Witcher, fans of the old Wing Commander series, but also things like the X-Wing series and the original Elites and Free Space and the new Call of Duty and all of the single player space game fans that are out there who may not know about sort of Star Citizen, Squadron 42 or Squadron 42.
Yeah, all those new Call of Duty space fans.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt that there may actually be some people who liked the
just
Call
one
of Duty.
space sim. Like they got the taste of Infinite Warfare. And they're like, man, fuck this Milsim thing.
They're gonna have one commercial that said, "Here's a Mass Effect character. Here's a Star Citizen or Squadron 42."
Oh no, he's gonna say, look at their face. What Chris is gonna do? He's gonna show it off and he's say, look at their face. Look at their face. Look at their face. See their face. See how lively their eyes are. See, let's look at it again.
Her eyes are not tired. Her face is not tired here. It's okay.
No, it's okay. Look at that mouth. Look at how perfectly shaped that mouth is. It's almost 1-to-1 realistic. Like see how they emote. It's look how realistic it is.
And this would be Gary Oldman going.
Let's zoom in really close to the eyes.
And we're gonna give you Mouths 2.0 in 2 months.
Yeah.
Just Gary Oldman behind Chris Roberts on green screen, just.
Yeah, but the problem is that that's what they did. What he did to No Man's Sky, he literally kicked the dog when it was down. He kicked it hard. He broke some ribs, and I'm sure Sean Murray had some broken ribs at the end of that presentation at Gamescom last year. And
Chris he does that on multiple occasions. He does it to EA occasionally too.
So
you got
occasionally.
That's what gets people talking.
Exactly.
Our game store is called Electronics Access. I mean, it's not an occasional shot. It's an in your face every time.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like we're going to have a marketing blitz, and it may be small, it may be big. It's going to have to happen. It's going to happen beyond what we have now, and it's going to be spending back our money. But the idea is that you spend money to let people know, because the big thing is everyone asks. Grocky's Cetus will back me up on this. Even Dovak and Fastcard, if you guys are ever had to interact with a chat or with a community, on Reddit or on YouTube or on Twitch or on even like Twitter and Facebook, you ever interact with someone when you're talking about Star Citizen, the first question is this game done yet, and is it good? Two questions that are always asked every single fucking time.
No.
When does it come out?
Or when does it come out? And the next question is always, when does it come out? So you need to have.
Are they done yet? Yeah, it's like.
Yeah, with Squadron 42, you need to have that marketing blitz of basically going out saying it's done. That's just.
I don't think it'll be 6 to 9 months though. I don't think they're going to need the 6 to 9 month window, because usually it's 6 to 9 months for most gaming ones, so they can finish.
Well, yeah, so
because they're not quite done, but they're close. Once Squadron 42 hits that mark, I think it'll be like maybe a 3-month blitz where they can add, get it now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why when you asked the original question,
build them up, bang, hit them right away. Don't extend it.
And just me knowing the Star Citizen community, and just everyone here and everyone who is really passionate about this damn thing, I think they would get a lot. What you're talking about, Paul, with like taking people in and giving people early access to builds. I think that would have a massive amount of blowback. So
it would be, but
they wouldn't do that.
But the key is,
I think they specifically said that they won't do that before.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is that they've said a lot of things. They've said a lot of things that they wouldn't. They said they wouldn't do before they did anyways. And on
Or
top of that,
marketing blitz while it's available.
yeah, well, exactly. Like the idea is, and we're not talking about bringing like Bad News Baron. We're talking about bringing in people like large content creators.
Not that he's a bad guy or anything.
No, but I mean, like Bad News Baron.
I swear to God, if there's a PewDiePie Squadron 42 video before any of us can have it,
Well,
I'm gonna shoot somebody.
But you look at
And then I'm gonna play the shit out of it.
Not anyone. It's not a threat. Don't take it wrong. It's not anyone related to Star System. It's just someone.
Yeah, well, what they'll probably do is they'll probably invite someone like that to their studio to play it in the studio with the developers there to talk with them about it.
Feels
'Cause
bad managed.
that's what happens all the
I
time.
think they would have.
Yeah.
I think I get that, and
Mhm.
I understand why they would do that. I just think they would actually have like a lot of backlash.
Yeah.
from
Well,
the backer community.
Because they do that all the
Maybe-
time with
Yeah.
games journalisms. They bring
and once again,
journalists
I
in
think
and-
they would have a massive amount of blowback. Also, I think they've kind of learned their lesson with game journalism.
Yeah.
I think maybe they won't be so keen. Actually,
There's going to be blowback either way, though, because half of it's, favoritism amongst streamers, and the other half's like, help out the streamers who've helped out your game.
Yeah.
And, like,
No matter what, there's you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. The question.
if there was footage of Squadron 42 out in the wild
Mhm.
before the mass backers have access to it, there will be fucking riots, and I think rightfully so. Like,
That's
if there's footage coming from a source that is not Cloud Imperium Games, I think
it's gonna
Okay.
happen. It's gonna happen. It's already happened before, and it will happen again. They're gonna give it to some gaming magazine who's gonna have a fucking paywall. You have to go behind the paywall to be able to watch their
I
stupid
hope
video.
not.
Because they do it all the time with game magazines before. It's happened before, and it'll happen again. And like CIG.
Hey, CIG, I'd like to remind you of RobertSpaceIndustries.com/the-pledge.
Which doesn't exist anymore, by the way.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Did they take it down?
They did. They took it down.
Did they?
Mm-hmm. There's some backup pages for it, but that people did. But yeah, but the thing is here's the big thing, is people are saying, for instance, like, hey, 3.0 is going to be released at Gamescom. 3.0 shouldn't be released at Gamescom. If it's ready before Gamescom, it needs to be released before Gamescom.
Agreed.
And we actually, Grockies and Flint and I were talking about this after Bad Rolls, which was, if it's ready before Gamescom, they can show it off at Gamescom on the floor. So they don't have to show off it's 3.0 for the second time at Gamescom 2 years in a row. They can show off Squadron 42 or something similar, or other assets they're working on, and they can actually show the game on the floor, which means like, hey, this is a game. It's a much better
use
situation.
the 3.0 hype beast to help pitch 42.
Yep, exactly. So people come in to go play Squadron 3.0 on the floor of Gamescom, and then they get they watch the video for Squadron 42 because they're doing a presentation for Squadron 42, which then helps build the marketing up higher. That would be an ideal world if they were able to do that. But the answer is that, and a lot of people are pissed off about it, but they'd be pissed off about it. But if CIG did a live stream, or someone did a live stream like a Max Gonzalez, like a gassy Mexican, or an Angry Joe.
By the way,
Co.
the pledge is still up on our.
Is it still pledged? Okay. Because I thought they'd taken it down. And they did there was a bunch of backup stuff, but if they did it with CIG in the room while they did it, and then released it, it would be a little bit different because it would just be a CIG live stream with them being there to help promote it. And that happens a lot with a lot of companies do it, and it's a great way of getting the word out to people who may not understand the game already. And there's a lot of people out there who are interested, a lot of content creators who are interested, but they don't want to get in there. And if they get invited to a studio to have it be hand walk through that situation, they may do that kind of stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, so, and there are actually a lot of content creators who are who've actually made Star Citizen content out there. Level Cap Gaming was at CitizenCon.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty giant. He's also really nice guy. But yeah, there's actually a lot of them who are just kind of on the periphery, who can't really afford to invest the time that kind of we have into this stuff.
We have time. Go ahead, you all right?
But no,
That's because Sig pays us to have time. We all know it.
And like something that Paul was talking,
Chill.
about, where it's like
Wish I had that money.
something that Paul was talking about with it, where it's like
The press getting it before everybody else.
having someone come into a situation.
Oh yeah.
And like, hey, we're gonna talk about Squadron 42, and we're gonna talk about you, and you're gonna play a mission from it. That's different than like, hey, we're gonna send out copies, like keys out, like 3 weeks ahead of time.
Yeah.
Dark Souls 3, what are you doing?
Yeah. No, that's not gonna happen.
Blowing
That's
my
not gonna
mind.
happen. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's not
like,
gonna happen. Yeah.
Yeah, no. And if it did, I think there would be a lot of righteous indignation.
Oh yeah.
I
mean, most of us would be pissed because we're like, really, you're gonna do that,
yeah.
and not to us? Come on, because we want to do it first because we'd like to do that kind of stuff anyways. And there would still be, even if it was to us, it would still be a huge blowback in the community, and I think they'd know that. But again, we're talking about hypotheticals.
When Star Citizen was announced and they started the funding process, I built a computer. I built a high-end computer. I have a 780 Ti in my build right now. That thing showing stage a little bit. Maybe don't get 60 FPS on like Overwatch on low. Maybe having a little bit issues going on right now. So I'm right in the middle of building a new rig. There's a 1080 Ti somewhere in the world that is mine right now. But I'm doing that because within the next 2 years, Squadron 42 will be a thing. So that's why I'm building a rig right now. So
the thing about Paul said about bringing in some streaming the game. I mean, a lot of the current Star Citizen streamers don't. They say that they're not going to stream Squadron 42 when it comes out. They're going to want to play the game for themselves first, and then maybe stream it. So maybe that'll work out in their favor anyway.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the key is that when we're seeing Squadron 42, expect a marketing blitz because you're going to want some build up. You're going to want at least a couple of months of advertising. This is someone who used to work in marketing. Okay, you want to have at least some levels of build up because you want to generate a situation where people are.
Yeah, because when I want my toilet fixed, I go to the guy who used to be a plumber.
Oh,
probably do a better job than you would right now.
Wow, dude, that was uncalled for. But
But I've worked.
That was like Chris Robertsworth of Savage.
That's up, dude.
That was pretty burned.
Side note, and step aside, I noticed something in chat that I think has to be said, and we'd all be on board for. Let's get Terry Crews to show it off early because then we're all happy. We're okay with it.
Yeah, everyone would be okay with that.
None of us would be upset.
No one would be upset.
I love Flaming Hot Cheetos. If Terry Crews started selling Flaming Hot Cheetos, I would eat nothing else.
That's the thing. It's like if Terry Crews did it, people would be like, why does Terry Crews get it? People would just be like, shut the fuck up. It's Terry fucking Crews.
Okay,
yeah.
Wait. I'm gonna pitch you something. All right, I'm gonna pitch you some marketing.
I want him to be a voice in the game now.
Yeah.
Here it is. Are you ready for it? Squadron 42 preview brought to you exclusively by Derek Smart.
Don't say his name on my channel. Don't say his name on my channel.
That's it, right there. They don't give it to anyone else. They just give it to him. Let him go crazy.
I want to timestamp this so you can cut it out on.
Because I'm gonna find it everywhere on the fucking internet from now on.
That'll be the craziest thing you could ever do.
I need failfish. I need
no one
failfishes
would ever
everywhere.
see it coming.
You know,
no one would ever see it coming.
Someone go ahead and
GIF
what I just did there. You can GIF that and just use it over and over again.
Go decontaminate your channel.
God,
this whole podcast is tainted.
Anyway, moving on.
But anyway, sorry to distract from the guy who used to be in marketing.
Let's go to questions.
That was
marketing.
a dick thing to say.
I was gonna say my point is that you want to have some sort of like name recognition at some point. So so it's important to know that there will be a marketing campaign at some point, and if they don't, it'll actually hurt their sales because they want to make sure that people know about them. And most sales for a game are made within the first week. So if it's like Star Citizen makes $2 million, or if our Squadron 42 makes $2 million in the first week, it will probably be a critical failure because it just won't make enough sales. It has to make enough money to justify the cost, if not more money, which takes.
What's kind of interesting? What's kind of interesting is that over the past like 2 to 3 years, you were exactly right when it comes down to like the whole like idea of that your launch window. Launch windows are very important, but they're actually less important than they used to be.
Yeah.
Because like if you actually look at like
A
a
bit.
lot of what a lot of people are reporting from like actual, like what a lot of people are like, a lot of these companies are publicly traded, so like they have to release sale numbers, they have to release all this information, so we have the data we can look at, and a lot of stuff that they're saying like over the past like 5-ish years, this weird trend where it's like the first week isn't as critical as you think anymore, because it's actually like it doesn't go as high as it did, but it stays more medium for a long period of time and then drops off. So it's like a sale month, like opening month instead of like opening weekend.
That's
It's
a very recent change, and it has a lot to
Yeah.
do with the fact that most of the games that were released in the last year sucked.
But
Or
it's
that's a
like,
big
Mass
part of
Effect
it.
Andromeda is like still, like this week was still, that the game came out like 3 weeks ago. That game is still like top 5 in like the UK.
Yeah,
chart right
it's
now.
number one in some places.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean, and at the same time, it's gonna be a high up there for a while, anyways, because it's a new game. And
Another
people buy it
thing
at
to
different
keep
times, but they also, you got to remember that UK when Mass Effect Andromeda was released, it was released almost like a couple of days, if not, I think like a week later.
Yeah,
in
like
some
2
cases.
days.
It was 2 days after.
2 days.
Yeah. So
another thing to keep in mind, especially with a game like Star Citizen, is it's already pre-backed.
yes, there's a lot of people.
And I'm
who
going to
already
pull a number
purchased
out of my ass here, but let's just say 2/3 of current backers already have Squadron 42.
I think the majority probably has.
Yeah, I mean,
Probably.
yeah.
Well,
How much of a dip is that going to take out of their first month sales?
probably a lot, and that's
Yeah.
the reason why they're going to want to have
So
to.
is a $2 million first week really that bad? At
Yes.
this point, then?
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, actually.
Yes.
Because I think-
Or do you
game,
or do you
what is that?
post date all of the sales that it's already had?
That's
And do you include that into your first week?
well,
Because
no,
no. because everything that was purchased up to this point
That'd be
was like it's like production money. It's money that they're going into production. Anything
But,
they sell,
but no other
copies?
game dev has that.
4,000?
Mass
sort
Effect
of.
Andromeda doesn't have that.
Yeah,
No.
that's like Greg is actually right. It's around like making $1 million would only be selling about 4,000 copies.
Yeah, 2 million is around 4,000. It'd be
It's
2.4
like-
million is
it's
4,000.
like-
That's nothing.
You'd want to
Okay,
push.
so then
you'd probably
what
want
does 134? Like,
side note, they cost 140.
Whoa,
You cut out there,
you're gone.
Fast Card. So we only heard about half of that.
Oh, sorry. I said a side note. They passed 146 million.
146 million
crowdfunding.
on crowdfunding.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay, good, awesome. These like crowdfunding numbers, I'm always like, yeah, it's great. I've stopped paying
And
attention to that a long
Majestic
time
is
ago.
right. They
Yeah.
would actually, the pre-backing would be considered
Considered
pre-orders.
pre-orders.
So they all go into that first week technically on
Pre-orders, okay.
reporting if
Okay.
they were to report.
Well, that's a lot of money then.
They're right. Yeah, they can count that as a pre-order
Yeah,
for if they decide to report those numbers. If
yeah,
they don't
but-
have to.
But
5-year long pre-order cycle right there.
the big thing about it is that they need to use the Squadron 42 to fund the rest of Star Citizen as well as Squadron 42 the second episode. So it needs to be a critical success for them, at least financially, so that they can stay afloat longer, because they're putting a lot behind Squadron 42 as a financial like lifeline for them to going forward. Because if this doesn't work, then they're gonna have a lot of, they're not necessarily immediately have problems, but they're gonna have to start thinking about how they're gonna make money to make up the losses.
Microtransactions.
Exactly. So that's the key thing to memorize.
Macro
is
transactions.
the reason why we're talking about this,
Holy
the reason
shit,
why I
right?
bring this up is because this is the reason why they would have to do a marketing campaign.
Buy your
because they wanna make
planet
sure they have
today.
it. Oh god.
Can I name my planet Bob?
I mean, yeah.
Yo,
I mean, if they
If you buy a
wanted,
planet, yes.
if they wanted a cash infusion, they could just drop like $20,000 bangles. Like if
They
they
could.
needed,
They-
it.
It would
get
break
sold.
the game. Yeah, they'd
They
break the
would-
game, but yeah,
they
they'd
would
get
fly
sold.
off. I wouldn't say they'd fly off the shelves, but there'd be $100,000 worth of Bengals.
More than that, honestly.
You're probably right.
The
You're
thing we
probably
gotta
right.
remember is like also there's a little bit of money in there that we think that they have that they don't actually have, because what you gotta remember is that they still waiting on physical rewards. That stuff's still coming. That money's probably spent now.
It's
But,
really not
like-
that big of a cost when you buy it all from China.
And in bulk.
shipping.
Yeah, but also like some of the things in that box won't be the things because if they actually like made good on their promises, they would probably lose a lot of money because they need like a terabyte USB stick.
It'll probably be the launcher.
It'll probably just be a launcher.
Yeah.
Just like most games do it now, it'll be the launcher and some preload.
Here's
this
a 64. Here's a 16 gig USB stick.
Yeah.
You guys have fun.
I got this from Frontier Developments with their with a copy of Elite Dangerous on it as kind of a promo. I think Rocky's got one of these as well. But all it had was a code. It was a code for Steam. Like you just pump it into Steam and it would give you.
Who's really gonna be mad about not getting six? Sweet, one less thing I get to lose.
I bought a for a young child's birthday. I purchased a copy of Minecraft because that's what you do, right?
Mhm.
I don't know what young children want these days.
That's actually a good purchase. Good purchase.
So I bought a boxed copy of Minecraft, right? That
I
shit.
didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, they do.
It
That
does.
shit literally was a box. You open it up, and there was a code written on it in the shape of a disc.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't even know, man.
What the fuck?
It was like
That's how they do it now.
It was like it's like they had just gotten like the disc inlay box from like a mass bulk thing, reprinted everything, so with like so it was like Minecraft theme, and then
So
just
pretty
like threw a code in there. I was like,
pretty
okay.
soon,
Physical
Grandma's
media?
gonna
What's
send you a
that?
thing in the mail. It's like an actual card. You open it up, and it's a code. You type the code in, and it's like "Happy Birthday."
I don't doubt it. Like they already have stuff like that in like with like QR codes where you like get a little.
Yeah, I
card
was
and
gonna say
you punch the card
it's
and
gonna be a
brings up
QR
little,
code.
You know, something like that. But anyways, moving on. We're gonna have some questions. So how this question and answer session is going to work is that you guys ask questions by exclamation point question, exclamation point question mark, exclamation point questions in chat. There's a little form you fill out, you send that in, and then we discuss it here. Either you can ask me directly, you can ask any of the cast members directly, you can ask the whole cast directly. There are a couple of caveats. One, we are not official CIG developers. Dolvac will claim
Except
he
for
is.
Dolvac.
Dolvac is insane. But we will pretend we're official CIG developers, and we'll say whatever that comes out of our mouth is totally confirmed. Because CIG loves to hear that, they heard it on the Captain's Table, they heard it from the Astropub. They just love to hear that all the time. I think CIG Legal has me on speed dial at this point. And
At this point,
Tell Ot when I said hi.
yeah.
Can I ask one thing that
he
you brought
talks
up
to
in
Toast.
the regular section
He
real
did
quick
work.
though?
What's that?
Something that I haven't heard anyone talking about is that they semi-confirmed system targeting on Happy Hour,
They did.
which is a question that we get all the time. Is there ever going to be Elite Dangerous style system targeting? And we're like, maybe.
Yeah,
And-
but
and
It's going to
Matt
set your
Turner,
pips
manual.
offset.
It's gonna be.
Yeah.
There will
they're
be
going to change your
system
pip
targeting
direction.
depending on your ship scanner.
You just gotta
How
wait
good
for like
you are.
5
fucking-
layers of 2.0.
How fucking huge is that?
It's big, but it also
fucking huge.
the problem is it's item port 2.0, which we've all said we've been saying since
It's,
pretty little.
it's like 5 different layers of 2.0s,
It's-
dude. It requires like 5 different systems.
It's like that system is like most of the game at this point. Like I'm just waiting for item port 2.0 to come out because I feel like that will be the point when we can reach release status because that's what seems to be like. It encompasses everything now. It encompasses like pressurization, non-pressurization, ship systems, ship targeting, ship weapons, ships.
Because how the engine works.
Oh, you're talking about targeting specific systems on a ship.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we were like system targeting. What is that?
And it also encompasses like locking and unlocking your ship and who you give access to and customizing your MFDs and being able to get out of your ship and have the ship still be running. All of these things are all linked to item port 2.0, and that's like half the game. Like it's like the basic functionalities of the game are going to be in there.
But
right
as
there.
far as I
And
know,
scanning.
and I don't know a whole lot.
We don't know shit. Let's be honest. We don't know shit.
You're right. You're right. until this last Friday, that was a big. I sure as fuck hope so. That's going to be a game
Yeah.
mechanic.
They
Well, the
never-
thing is,
And
they
until
mentioned-
Matt
talked
Sherman was
about it
like,
about
"Yeah,
6
we're
months
working on
ago.
that currently."
well, they said that they wanted to be able to write our names in bullets on hulls and ships. So I'm thinking system targeting would be a thing. But
It just changes your pips.
Yeah.
All it does is it make it so that, because they did talk about it a bit in initial ideas 6 months ago or so when they said, yeah, we're aiming for this. And what they basically talked about is right now, pips are center mass. Instead, what it would do is change your pips. So if you're landing your shots, you're hitting a specific spot on the ship. Like you're hitting an engine, you're hitting power plant. It'll just change where the pips are. So you just got to, you got to be accurate. Because if a person's juking a lot, you're still not going to hit.
Yeah, and trying to hit a subsystem.
Lag pips and lead pips are more or less the same thing.
They are.
As Sagareth is asking.
It's the
Aren't
placement.
lag pips more accurate?
They're more accurate. Like it'll actually paint over the where it is. But like, that being said, trying to hit a subsystem on an M50 is going to be like shooting the wings off a gnat at 100 yards.
Nuke that motherfucker.
Yeah,
Those
like,
annoying pieces of shit.
Oh, I'm going to aim for the subsystem so I can go, like, I want a reclaimer with guns on the front so I can pick the engine off an M50, then move in with the claw and grab it, bring it up to my window to look at the pilot, and then dump it in the back.
If I'm going on a mission in my
shake
Super
it.
Hornet, and in the mission details, there's a bunch of M50s, I'm like, yo, can you grab the Freelancer Miss and just come with me
Missile
so you can
spam.
just fire missiles at it, please?
We're going to go anime on
Fuck
this one.
everything about that.
Macross.
Yeah,
We're going Macross on this one.
yeah.
Bring the Constellation too, because that's got a whole rack load.
At Lunatrix, you're talking about 3.0. 3.0 is, we don't know. It could be tomorrow. It could be next year. We have no goddamn idea. They still haven't updated us on it. Now, getting to the questions. As we said before, we're not CIG developers, but we do we will confirm shit because we'll fuck with you.
Are you giving stupid question to Dovak?
Yes, I'm giving stupid questions to Dovak. Well, I'll split it between Dovak and Cedizzle. They can fight about it who can answer the stupid questions.
I don't have to answer the stupid questions. Yay!
There's no such thing as there is such thing as stupid questions. If you answer them, I'll give them to either Dovak or Cedizzle, and they will make fun of you.
You don't want that.
You don't want that.
Because mine comes with a side of self-deprecation, though.
But yeah, no. So in the meantime, let's go through this. So the first question comes from Sit US and asks, who at the table is going to Germany for CitizenCon and who is staying home? And excited for the US-based simulcast event, CitizenCon in Austin, Texas. That's the convention that the fans are working on to put on at the same time in
That
Austin.
name.
Yeah,
That's the name?
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll see at the end of the day. It's kind of-
CitizenCon US.
Right now, as of now, that is
CitizenCon
the
US. Just cut it off.
But I'm just saying, I'm a bar citizen coordinator for Boston and Boston, Massachusetts. So I'll probably be doing a
Boston watch party.
Boston party
Yeah.
instead of going to Austin or going
it's
to
better than a Boston
Germany.
Tea Party.
I don't know. I heard those.
Yeah, we may have some tea. You can't be in Boston and I have tea. But seriously, I'll be doing that for Gamescom too, hopefully. So
Okay.
yeah, I won't be traveling.
Like sit us in, like it sounds like a sit-in. Isn't that a protest? You're just protesting.
Yeah,
CitizenCon?
that name. No, just kill that name.
Fucking
guys.
heathens.
I'm saying it here in the open. Kill that name. Jeez.
Hold on, let me find something real quick.
I mean, I'm all down for what's going down. It's just a weird fucking.
Yeah,
thing.
just name no.
I mean,
branding.
if you called a
Everything's branding.
blowjob a meat grinder, I'd never get my dick sucked.
Paul,
No,
can I
that-
post
that's
the-
blowjob
can I
with
post to
teeth.
Twitter? Can I post to Twitter real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
And twit that. Okay. So
I
yeah,
like how we're just
that is their Twitch. Their Twitch.
I am
We
going.
started with dicks. We
I'm
ended
sorry,
with
Twitter.
dicks.
I'm going with it. I'm going to it. I don't know if any of you guys are actually planning on going to it or not. Like other than Fast Card.
I mean, I hope maybe I can go to Germany. If I can't do that because I don't even have a passport right now.
Yeah.
Surprisingly easy.
I would hope that I could go to the other one. Yeah, it's easy, but it costs. But yeah, I hope I could go to the other one at the very least. I would aim for either of those. I want to.
Mhm.
And for
I've
some
actually-
reason,
Go ahead, Fast Card. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, for some reason, when you go to the link inside the Twitter account, it doesn't go anywhere. So
Yeah. It's still work in progress.
Branding.
Right now, for me, it's like I have the disposable income, but it's like 1080 Ti, CitizenCon. I don't know right now. Trying to figure that one out. Last one was okay, so.
Last one was okay. Well, that's the question. Like, I personally am not going to CitizenCon in Frankfurt because last one wasn't bad, but it was mostly just kind of like meet up with a bunch of. Like, it was
Dilo
good
gave me
because-
herpes.
My favorite thing about
other people.
CitizenCon last year was seeing how gigantic Paul Shelley is compared to everybody else.
He's giant. He's a large man.
I am a
Dude,
large
do not
man.
look that big
I
in your
saw him
tiny
pick
little
up.
fucking
I
box
saw
on your
him pick up
stream.
a lesser
Yeah.
man, eat him, and then become bigger.
I am
true.
6'3". Like, people don't know like how tall I am, and I am.
And you have to scale that width with
Yeah.
that height.
Mhm.
Because in your picture, you're a very proportionate looking individual. When you scale that shit up to 6'3", holy god, that's a
Paul is
large
actually
man.
Yeah.
sitting about 10 meters back from his webcam.
Actually, I am sitting pretty far. Like, this is.
I'm about 7 inches from mine. I'm
Yeah.
a tiny human comparatively.
I am. The thing we talk about
That's
this at the
large.
beginning of the show. Paul doesn't have anything on Commander J. Shepard.
No,
Commander J. Shepard.
I am
is
a gnat compared to Commander J. Shepard.
I
That
never
man is
understood how
hulking.
big he was until Paul said, "That's a giant man." Once I heard that giant motherfucker say someone else is huge, that's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, Commander J. Shepard is one of those people where you see him and then you just want to turn around and walk the other way.
Yeah, like from
He's
It's
a
like,
nice guy,
oh,
though. He's a
the
nice
way
guy.
he's been described. He's the guy that
Imposing.
movie action figures should be made out of.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, but no, it was CitizenCon in Frankfurt or CitizenCon LA was fun, but I don't think I would go to CitizenCon Frankfurt. It's expensive
And-
for me,
Yeah,
and I'm
it's
going to be
too
living in
expensive.
Austin,
Yeah.
so you know.
I would have to be sent.
Yeah,
The thing about this is that they just announced Gamescom stuff yesterday.
Yeah.
And they're gonna have 750 tickets available for Gamescom, but they only have 600 tickets available for CitizenCon US, LA, and that kind of rubbed me the wrong way a bit.
I think the reason why is because they realize that there's a lot more people who want to get in than actually could get in last time, and so they're
Plus
trying to
venue
scale it up.
size.
Yeah, they gotta increase the venue size. Like, eventually, I think we're gonna have CitizenCon as an actual convention, like BlizzCon or
They
FanFest or something
talked
like
about that a bit briefly.
They have,
like,
but they feel like they're not ready yet. The problem is that, you know, yeah, the game is still very long ways out, but you're gonna have to get to that point sooner than later, and it's better to plan for it now than it is to be like, oh fuck, we need to do this now, because like they still haven't chosen. I don't think they've even chosen a venue for CitizenCon yet for Frankfurt.
They haven't announced it, but
They haven't
probably
announced it.
They're probably they're
But
probably looking at it.
But they should have. They
it
should
could end up as big as BlizzCon eventually if they keep on the right track.
If
They
they have-
really could. There's enough interest.
if they have a 750 person venue for
That's
Gamescom,
just for Gamescom. That's not. for,
then I expect it to be at least 750, if not larger, for CitizenCon in Frankfurt. And
Well-
there's not many venues that can hold that much, you know.
if I'm not mistaken, for Manchester they had 2,000 tickets. But maybe I might be mistaken about that.
Maybe,
In
but not
2015.
yeah. So that's the big thing is that like these venues are difficult to find, and they're large venues that are difficult to find immediately, or within a good time frame. And like, because that was one of the big issues is that like we're still having trouble finding venues for the event in Austin.
Just
And-
do what they did in Manchester every year. Just have it in a big hangar.
Yeah,
No problem solved.
But you'd need to have that ahead of time, so you could, and that would means that you'd have the dates ahead of time as well, because you could easily.
You also need internet.
So yeah, that's one of the issues.
Next question.
Next question comes from Notorious DYD. If what is in your opinion when people state that we run out of real estate if we allow people to build outposts? What do you think the time to dick? Also, what do you think the time to dick concern is valid reason to not allow player buildable structures? Lastly, oh Jesus Christ! How do you think CIG will handle the construction of buildings by players?
Are
first
going to
one,
be
they could just
prefab
make
buildings
more
that you can
planets.
drop down.
They'll be
Lego pieces.
yeah they'll be dropped down by like
Argo or
some sort of
Saber.
drop pod
Yeah.
or something like that.
It's
you
going to
know.
be here's a 3D outline, pick between these like 7 building types and pick your spot on the ground, and then it's like, drop in if it's like a greened out area. And if they do it where it's, say, plots of land to build out the buildings, so you have so many tiles essentially between them.
I hope they don't. I really hope they don't.
Well, I mean, even if it's a small amount.
I hope they make it by cost, right? If like this, like you're buying a building, right?
Yeah.
That's not like a non-zero amount of money in the Star System universe. Okay, sure. Maybe this little module won't be as much as a spaceship, sure. But we're living in a world where people are buying spaceships all day. So make the housing market really shit, and then that's your limit right there. I can't see space ever being an issue.
No. We're talking about a universe that has 100+ solar systems, let alone planets.
We might end up with planets that just get covered with settlements eventually. That could happen.
It might be like, also you just have a decay thing. It's like, hey, if you don't log on for 6 months, your building's just going to start decaying.
Yeah, I don't think
like Torque talks about, you have to look at popular real estate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I could build.
There's certain places where owning your own base is going to be far more important than owning it out in the middle of fuck nowhere.
Yeah.
Also taxes, dude. Like they have ship insurance, so there's no reason to not have like an upkeep cost for building. It's like, hey, you could add a new module or do you just live with like the 3 modules we have connected, because this one's going to make it 10,000 UEC per month. So I'll just live with this, right?
Yeah, and on top of that, you also have to think about specifically is that you're gonna have to buy the land in the first place, more than likely. So you're gonna have to pay. You're not gonna find it. It's not Rust where you just pick up a piece of land, put your dick in the ground, and that's your home. Like,
depends on how far out
you're gonna have to register that shit, or it's gonna be
even how far out you go. It's gonna be owned by somebody.
Outlaw territory.
It's gonna be owned by somebody, no matter how far you go. Unless you find a planet in a brand new system, you found the fucking jump point, and you find the planet, and they brought the house with you. There ain't no way you're going to be finding a place where you're going to be able to build a building. And you may also restrict it so that you only can build places on land you own. And the only way you can own it is by paying for it.
I talked about this before the stream, and I've talked about it multiple times. Star Wars Galaxies, with them talking about player housing, they have
talk about that in chat.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they have basically hit what Galaxies should have been at this point, and they're headed that way. And player housing was a huge part of that. And the way it was done was houses were expensive. You had to pay upkeep on them, or they went away. So decay, and if you didn't log in for a certain amount of time, they'd decay and disappear also because you weren't funding them enough. Mm-hmm. On top of that, if you wanted to draw a dick with the houses, it would happen.
It's probably going to be inefficient. So congratulations, you have a very big dick. Like a very big, expensive...
Someone draws a dick on a planet with houses. You just made that expensive. It's not going to be easy to access all the buildings, and there's going to be very few people that see it, so you can laugh every time you fly over this tiny, compared to the size of the planet, it's an itty-bitty tiny little dick.
Is it like 1/3 the scale of Earth? It's like one scale the size of Earth is like your average planet size, so we're still looking at like the moon sized, objects that you're going to be flying around.
And it's probably going to be like very, very expensive like locations. Like, hey, this moon that's orbiting Earth or Terra is going to be really expensive. That's prime real estate right there.
That's kind of like Park Street.
Those are probably going to be like no-buy zones, possibly.
And on top of that, what you're dealing with is this is going to be end-game stuff. This is end-game org-level stuff. A settlement is going to be the equivalent of a space station or a capital ship. You're not going to, and not every jackass who gets into the game is going to be able to buy real estate. It's going to cost fuck tons of money to even buy it, and it probably requires lots of good reputation. An average pirate isn't going to be able to go into a UAE system and buy a fucking outpost. You're probably going to have to be a citizen of the UAE to buy land. That make sense, because that's if you look at history, that's what a lot of people do. You want to live in the city, you got to be a citizen of the city. Otherwise, in ancient Greece, otherwise you ain't getting shit. That's the kind of thing you got to deal with.
I have a quick question for Paul. So on Planet Test, how many dick-shaped buildings do you think there will be?
The whole planet is
nearly
dick-shaped.
as many as crashed vehicles that we're trying to park.
They're actually going to crash another planet into it, so it'll be the ball sack, and then they'll stack them up top.
And then they're just going to outline the planet in settlements, and the piece of land left will be this giant dick continent, and the rest of it is going to be buildings.
Yes, exactly. That's how we roll. But it won't be a dick. It'll just be a diagram about something that's very important that we wanted to do. It's the test leadership structure.
It'll be an algorithm. It'll be an algorithm that if you actually
Test
input it
leadership
correctly,
seems like the biggest oxymoron I've ever heard.
Calculator. It's like a graphing calculator, Dick.
Yeah, but it's totally got actual points in the algorithm that's designed to help somehow for navigation in the future.
Yeah, but also plots a dick.
But hey, if you think it's a dick that's having semen spurting out of it, that's just your own sick fucking twisted idea. That's all.
Yeah, man.
You know.
I think the hardest part about the test dick planet is going to be how much bigger do the balls have to be to the penis for it to be realistic.
Very smart.
I asked the right
Shriveled and
question
small.
for this crowd.
Thank you for that question.
That's what a segue. That was great.
But no, but at the end of the day, I think most of us think that the time to dick is probably not going to be an issue because it's
as
so
low as
small.
possible.
And
it's going to be.
You could probably figure out an equation where the time to dick is equal to the amount of creativity in the tools that they allow you. There's probably a way to mathematically solve time to dick.
Honestly, time to dick in Star Citizen right now is almost non-existent. Take a pistol, shoot a dick onto a ship.
Yep, it's not really a big issue. And on top of that,
I've
estate's
flown
gonna
up next to ships in EVA and dicked them up just because I could.
But the other thing is that it's going to be.
Is that your fucking ships?
Yeah.
They're hot.
Whatever you're into, man.
I'm not comfortable here anymore. It's so weird.
This is 2947.
I got
All right, let's move it on.
Back here, we're talking about dicks.
Next question comes from Zuckern. He asks if you have a 3 crew, what ship would you get for? Would you work for to get? So if you had 3 people, what ship would you eventually kind of look forward to?
Constellation, maybe Reclaimer,
the
specialized
Reclaimer.
Maybe a freelancer.
with NPCs.
A freelancer miss.
Freelancer was my first go-to.
Freelancer might be too many people.
Vanguard.
Yeah.
Vanguard is perfect because you have one pilot, one gunner, and then
Don't forget you can hire NPCs though. So.
Yeah.
If you want to play with some of the bigger stuff.
But that's independent of the question, because a 3-man crew could be you and 2 NPCs.
Yeah.
It depends on if they mean 3 actual people, because that expands more with the possibility of NPCs.
Remember, but he said what you work towards, not what is sufficient to make money. What is your end game?
Yeah, I would still think of freelancer just because the freelancer can be fun with 3 people because there are 4 specialty seats. There's a pilot, co-pilot, and 2 support seats, and there's a gunner seat in the back, a turret.
I think some of the bigger hulls could also be fun.
The hulls would be really fun.
Hull D, maybe something like that.
Is there multi-crew gameplay associated with Hull series?
Yes.
Oh yeah. There's going to be engine parts busting. If you get attacked, there's going to be turret gunnery. You need someone up front to keep the scanning going, to keep your routes efficient. There's going to be a lot of stuff to do.
There's also
the whole E is fucking gigantic, dude.
There are I think the hulls actually have, in terms of turret defense, they have almost as many turret defenses. Like the larger hulls have almost as many turret defenses as the Retaliator does, in terms of their just pure bristling with weapons. Now, considering the size of a whole E is the size of
it's
Bengal.
A tanker ship, basically.
It's huge. That's almost nothing in terms of its mass, but that's still a lot of people. That's still like a Retaliator has
it actually has 3 floors. If you actually look at it in the UK, they kind of show a X-ray thing of it. There's actually 3 floors in the front of that thing. Mm-hmm. It's I don't even know what's going on there. And then I'm pretty sure the smaller ones don't have this. They don't have a back area. But I think in the 2 big versions, you can run down that main corridor.
The C, I think you can crawl through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the D and the E.
Because I thought the way, of course I'm a fucking idiot, so I have no idea. I thought the only multiplayer thing with the whole series was you've got your fucking big giant dick ship, and then all of your friends flying around it in their fucking fighters.
We probably want
that's true. That
That-
too.
No,
That's
there's,
honestly-
there's escorting it too, but
honestly-
there's a lot
honestly-
of repairs and stuff.
Honestly, C Dizzle, that's what a lot of people thought until they showed off the cross section of the holes. Because everyone's like, it's just a giant cockpit with a bunch of stuff in it. It's like, no, there
That's
are
what's going to
3
be with
levels.
the whole. That's what's.
Hey,
gonna be
you
with the
watch
whole
what you
game.
call my mom.
Like a whole
She
game
does
is
have junk
one
in the
guy.
trunk.
And
That's
a
like what-
huge
Yeah,
cockpit.
If I had 3 people, I'd probably work toward an Endeavor or something like that. But that's just me.
Yeah, no. So,
Oh,
like,
the Endeavor.
it also depends on what kind of gameplay you want. You know, like
Yeah, exactly.
a hauler could be something like a hull or a freelancer, but like a combat ship, you may want something like a Cutlass or a Vanguard, or because I mean the Cutlass is definitely a 3-person. You need to have someone who's
Yeah.
co-pilot, pilot, and someone who's on the gunner seat. That's all you need.
And then which cutlass? I mean, do you want to do the blue, the red, or the black? So there's
Yeah.
multiple things you can choose from.
Or with the freelancer,
And-
you could do freelancer miss, freelancer dur, freelancer because you're probably
That's
gonna
my
have someone on
biggest
scan.
problem with the
Yeah.
whole Cutlass line is I don't see color.
See, this is literally colorblind. That's actually the truth. He's actually colorblind. He doesn't see anything. This is all shades of green and gray. So
If you don't see color, you don't see me. No.
I said color. There was no ED at the end of that.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow! Wow!
Hi, Twitch. Hi, Twitch.
Wow.
Oh my god!
The
I'm turning my cam off.
I
God
no
damn.
Longer, I no longer want to be associated with this. I don't.
turn the ship around.
I
We're
was, just
going
making,
home.
I was just making semen jokes the entire podcast. I have a higher level of discourse than all this here. I don't want to be associated
Oh,
with this.
Jesus Christ. The one sovereign asks.
Bye, Paul.
Segue. Now, the one sovereign asks, how many crews should Terry Crews crew if Terry Crews could cruise?
All enough.
The answer
As many
is platypus. Platypus.
Poisonous, lays eggs, and a mammal.
Poisonous? Really? I didn't know that.
Yep.
That's
Isn't
the
there
Actually,
some-
technically, they're venomous because it's a
Only the males, though.
thing. What is
Mhm.
it? Like a
It's
stinker
in like
Yeah, it's
their
a stinger barb.
thumb. It's like a thumb thing.
claw. Or
It's a barb on their.
There
yeah,
you
it's
go.
a barb.
Barb. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah,
I think
What a
I think
weird
it-
fucking animal.
I
Yeah.
thought they were marsupials, not mammals.
Nope, they're mammals.
they're
They're
mammals.
mammals.
They're mammals.
Yeah, the mammals
Oh,
that
and,
lay
and
eggs.
they're beaked. Another
Yeah.
fucking weird ass thing.
They also they're mammals because they give live birth.
A platypus is what
Oh, they're
happens
eggs, right?
when
They're eggs,
the
right?
group
Yeah,
of
they're-
people is
they're-
clamoring
they're
for
eggs.
modularity.
I think the big thing is like they're the only mammal that does lay eggs, or like one of them.
Yeah,
one
they're
of them.
they're just weird.
Who
They're
knows?
warm
They're
blooded.
a joke on our whole planet. Like, how the fuck did this thing come into existence?
What did you
Someone
come
hit character
from?
creator too many times.
What did you come from? Are you some sort of crazy fucked up character creator from Oblivion?
No Man's Sky.
You know, is this an Oblivion character? Were you
Oh,
was this
God.
you know?
Like,
Are you the
like
hero of
God's on his
Samach?
cloud. He's like,
You know?
humans
No,
get
wait,
flesh
I got it.
bites.
I got it.
Platypi
Platypus-
get this.
The platypus is from No Man's Sky.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a dancing dinosaur from No Man's Sky. Is what it is. It's like fucking shit.
It's
Next,
the melodica version, though.
the next question comes from Richard Sky asking, smuggling holds. Will CIG allow us to modify ships, or will they control where they can be put on a ship? Asking for a friend. As for
It's
the
a
last time
long
we talked,
discussion.
you got to remember that you got to get your patented Meyer smuggling tape, and then wrap everything in the Meyer smuggling tape in order.
I thought
for
we
you
were
to
moving on from the whole
Also knowing, you also have to remember that you can smuggle tape by using the smuggling tape.
Yes.
What's under the hat, Meyer? The hat?
Yeah.
Drugs.
Don't ask what's under the hat.
Don't ask what that's. No, but
He's,
basically,
he smuggled in those eggs that are banned in the U.S. They have in England.
Yeah.
that you can't bring in. It's just hundreds of
Kinder?
chocolate eggs.
yeah.
Yeah.
So for those of you guys who don't know, watch the last captain's table because we talked about
It's
that
fucking
as well.
great.
Yeah, it's 3 hours fucking long is what it is.
Okay,
So
I have to ask: did Relay do a transcript of the last captain?
captain's table, you should do a transcript of the last captain's table. It would be hilarious. Yes. Dovak, please do it.
Do a transcript of this one too.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't want our host to like our web host to look at some text files and be like, what the fuck is this?
What is this?
He'd be so disgusted they just shut it down.
You need to black out whatever the fuck I've said all the
See, there's a redacted.
I'm looking forward to rereading color with an ED on it.
Oh no, no, we can't leave it.
Oh, can't get away from it.
You can't leave out the important part. I said I didn't say that.
On a serious note, then, I actually still like Captain Flint's idea, which is that any of the components can be.
Like Captain Flint, he's okay.
No, great guy. Yeah,
different a lot, but he's okay. I mean.
No. His idea for smuggling was essentially components. You could pull them out if they're redundant and replace them with a fake component. That's a smuggling compartment.
Yeah.
So no one knows where you might be smuggling something on the ship, because if everyone knows it's in one of these 3 spots, players boarding are always going to check those 3 spots.
I mean, the Starfare has those capacitors.
Well, here's the thing.
The Starfare has those emergency capacitors. They're like the big bricks.
Yeah.
That come out of the wall. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
Swap it out with a fake one, and it's a smuggling piece, and stuff like that.
And the other thing is that there are other ships out there that basically have a bunch of components. Like if you look at the Buccaneer from, we can see already, because it's already designed for item 2.0 functionality. There are 5 spots that I've seen, if not more, which are compartments for emergency supplies. Does a fucking Buccaneer need 5 emergency supply slots? I don't fucking think so. One of those things is hiding your bong and your space weed. All right, that's it's
in a ship with no ejection mechanic. How many fucking emergency
supplies
spots do you need?
Yeah, I mean, you might crash, but are you going to crash so hard that one half of your ship is going to be gone, and so you need the other half with four emergency cubby holes filled with supplies to survive?
Oh no, dude! Look,
Yeah.
the corner commercial.
I want a lot of
snack
redundant
packs,
space.
Bring that for his wife. The porn commercial. Yeah, that's all it is, man. Just ice cream.
So ice cream.
It's not frozen
Just ice cream.
Banu semen. It's not, don't worry. No.
Oh my
It's
God.
vanilla bean, officer. Don't worry about it.
Here, I'll
See,
taste
this is
it
an
for
idea.
you.
What I would want to do is like booby trap one of the known compartments that's known for smuggling. Because as soon as someone boards you and you don't want to do it, have them electrocute them or something.
That's why you smuggle the frozen Banu semen, because you can smuggle it and it's also the booby trap.
Yeah,
And it's also delicious.
Vandal will pay. They will pay premium.
Maybe
now they're in possession of
it's
frozen
Banu.
Banu.
Maybe it does taste like vanilla
It's
bean.
really not even the flavor that does it for me. It's the consistency. I'm a texture kind of guy.
You have to keep it frozen, because otherwise it gets all foamy and weird.
This is one of the
Next
best captain
question.
tables we've ever done. I love it.
Next question.
I love it. Next question comes from Notorious DYD. Question 42 is good. What is the cast prediction for sales and units first month? If it's amazing, what do you think the first prediction for the first month?
There's no predictions.
I can't guess stuff like that.
My brain's too fried.
How many?
If it's amazing,
I was a door-to-door salesman for like 2 weeks. And it's not because my sales met the projections.
No.
So
I couldn't even tell you. But
Like, give me comparison. Like, give me a number. Like, say Mass Effect, for example. Give me a number for Mass Effect.
let me look up the numbers of units that were sold for Mass Effect Andromeda. Just to give a comparison. But I mean, like, your average good sale or good release for a Call of Duty, I think, is several million units in the first day.
In the first day?
Yeah.
because they count pre-orders on first day.
Mm-hmm.
So pre-orders all count to first day, and then there's also first day sales, people waiting in line.
Well, we have like
that.
over 1.5 million account, and I don't know how many of those are actual backers. Maybe like say a third of those are actual backers. That's a million.
All right,
Hold on.
so I'm
It
looking at
shows
right
the
now.
backers.
It doesn't say. It doesn't actually say everything I'm saying. I'm not actually seeing the number of.
Even Nectar said the Andromeda isn't a fair comparison because that day one bug. It's a fair. I think it's a fair
3 million.
comparison because it was number one.
It was sold. It had 3 million units sold, in its first week.
Okay.
Let me double check. Seeing that.
So maybe 1 million or maybe 750,000 for
$1 million would be pretty damn solid release. Like that would be
week.
a really strong showing for a game that didn't have the same name that Mass Effect carries with it.
right.
So
No, that was a hope. That was a hope that they thought that they could sell 3 million in the first week. It says
that
here
was a hope.
that was a hope. They say here that they haven't released the numbers.
Oh.
So it's probably
also
lower.
a
I mean,
big name IP.
Yeah.
Like,
It's already established. There's already lots of people who will.
the only reason anyone's been disappointed with that game because it's called Mass Effect Andromeda. Not because it's called Andromeda, but because it says Mass Effect before it.
Yep.
Well, there's other reasons to be disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, if it was a different IP, it's kind of like the new Star Trek movie. If it wasn't a Star Trek movie, more people would be okay with it.
Yeah.
But because it's called Star Trek,
Well, here's a
the
good
money.
Here's a good look thing. One of the largest releases this year was Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon Zero Dawn is a new IP, and it's exclusive. It had a larger release than Mass Effect. It was the largest release in gaming this year. Was Horizon Zero Dawn. So that's
was it?
Yep, it was. So far this year, it has been the largest release of any game. And that's the thing is that. Like Mass Effect is a good example because Mass Effect is a similar genre. It's a similar people who would enjoy Mass Effect would probably be buying that. But I think Horizon Zero Dawn is also a similar genre in that sense. It's a science fiction game. It's an action game. It's a little bit different because it's more of like a Tomb Raider or a Last of Us kind of stuff. It looked good. And that's the thing is that Squadron 42 is going to be sold on its graphics more than its gameplay, but its gameplay has to be fun as well in order to kind of bring
And
it
it's
in.
going to be sold on the names of the actors and
Yes.
the story. And
So my guess, I think if it was a good game, it should sell 1 million units in the first week. If it's an amazing game, it would probably sell 3 million units in the first week. Now, I don't think that'll happen. I think we'll probably...
You're going to need more than a week for it to come out, whether it's good or amazing through the media. I'd say
Yes.
we should push it to like seeing first month numbers.
Yeah.
But that's very based on if they market and how they there's a lot of variables.
there's a
in
lot
it.
of
And also when they release. If they release it at a time of another major release, like a Call of Duty or something else, which would take a lot of the attention away from it, or people would have to choose between buying that for their paycheck for Squadron 42 or the other game they want to play, that's another big thing, is that people are thinking about that. Plus
it's PC only, no console.
Yeah.
That's going to dip the numbers quite
in
a
their
bit more.
marketing, how much do you think they have to either include it in the same talk as Star Citizen or exclude it from the same talk as Star Citizen?
Because
there is negative stigma behind Star Citizen.
The best thing about it, the thing about it is that essentially at the end of there's no such thing as bad news. That's an old saying, but publicity is publicity.
No such thing as bad publicity.
Yeah. You're going to get people will if they know about it because it's controversial, people may purchase it. They'll look it up. They'll be more likely to look it up and may purchase it if it's got a decent information behind it, or there's some cool videos, or people have an idea of what they're getting themselves into, they'll buy it. But the key is
GamesDick.com puts out an article. Scam Citizen releases single player.
Then some people will read that and go, oh wait, the single player is released, because not everyone necessarily going to believe it, but at the same time people who do believe it are like, oh well, we'll see what this is, and they'll look up the trailer and all that other kind of stuff, and a lot of people will make their decisions based off of that. But there's lots of things like you said, time of release, how much marketing there is beforehand, all those things will have an impact in sales overall. I think
Z-Man's right, we had it wrong. It's bad press.
Bad press. No such thing as bad press. Yeah, bad press.
Rakesh 44 was saying in chat, how many people actually have PCs to run it? The thing is, single player Star Citizen has always kind of run okay.
Yeah, Squadron 42 should be able to run on a 670.
it's not actually as intense as you think it is. Star Citizen is. Squadron 42, not so. If you go into one single player modes or Star Citizen right now, like Free Flight or Ring Commander,
We're also comparing
runs
a completely unoptimized pre-alpha version of a fucking not even video game.
Not completely, but yes. Not
But no, but it's compared to Squadron 42, which should have an optimization pass before it's released. It's going to be completely. It's going to be night and day. Like Squadron 42 should play like butter on most people's PCs. I would say that this is not an official statement, but because it's on Captain's Table, go ahead and run to the hills.
Squadron 42 will play like butter on most PCs.
Hashtag
on most
confirmed.
PCs.
Paul Shelley 2017.
Actually,
Paul
that is
Shelley
gonna be
says
a-
it'll run on tablets.
Yes,
I heard
it'll
from
run
Paul
tablet.
Shelley there's going to be a mobile version
Yes,
that's going to run in 4K
4K.
on your current phone.
Mm-hmm.
Actually.
On your 17-year-old flip phone, it'll actually run on that in 4K.
Snake.
Okay,
No, no, the
that
1980 giant phones.
Yeah,
This is
They're re-releasing
No,
the
like-
old that indestructible Nokia. They're re-releasing that thing
yeah.
specifically for Squadron 42. It's cross promotion.
But honestly, I played Star Citizen with a 670 for a long time. No, I had an i7 processor, but it was still like both of them were similar time. That's probably about 5 years to 7 years. 5 to 7 years now is like in terms of technology, and it still runs fine. An optimized, like a medium setting, an optimized Squadron 42 should do something fairly similar.
this is
Go ahead.
no joke. Like a week ago, I was looking up laptops because I have a 6-year-old, no, 8-year-old ThinkPad that I haven't upgraded in 8 years. But I was looking at a laptop that might be able to play Star Citizen, and I was thinking about getting this Intel HD 4000 thing. And I looked on the spec page, or looked for a specification for Star Citizen, and
PC. It won't be able to run on any old PC. You'll have to have a gaming PC, be it a gaming laptop or a gaming PC, and most laptops won't be able to support it. Anyways.
But that's PC gaming in general, right? Like
You
can't expect to be playing a game that's still about a year out from full release on a card that's fucking 4 or 5 years old.
Exactly. But at the same time, you need to. That's the rub is that CIG also has to optimize for future and back. They have to optimize for as many older PC builds as they possibly can up to the minimum standards. They have to optimize it for the minimum standards all the way up to the past that to the future for 6K, 8K resolutions. So that's the key. But it's a little different than that in that sense. I don't know what the original question was about, but
I have absolutely no idea where we started.
We were talking about sales predictions for
Hey, okay.
wow.
We were still,
I was like 10 years ago.
we were still on Squadron 42 though. So CH Maverick will ask, will CIG advertise Squadron 42 on the big dumb gaming news sites like IGN and GameSpot? Probably not.
Not directly,
How do you
but
define
when they
advertise?
advertise through
by, like,
talking about it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like for instance, like Sony will buy like the advertising rights on IGN,
Oh,
so
no,
all of the like
they're
backgrounds of
probably not doing
IGN are like Horizon Zero Dawn. So, and if you click
I
on it,
don't
it'll
see
take you to
them
the
doing
website.
that.
It's too expensive and it's not effective.
The way that
Like,
they've
I
been
remember
marketing
back-
this whole time is they're going to report on us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Although,
I remember, I
although-
think it was 2014 or 2015. Like, Chris was doing one of the big cons, might have been Citizen Con, where he put up numbers saying like, whatever the development budget, multiply it by 4, and that's the marketing budget.
Mhm.
Like there's a 1 to 4 ratio between the production budget and the marketing budget.
usually
Talk
So
about
it's
some
pretty-
feels bad
pretty
man
nasty.
shit, right?
But
So, like,
one thing where I could see them marketing that will likely be the click-through behind stuff. There is a site that does that occasionally for certain games. That would be Twitch, because they're using Lumberyard, and
Yes.
Twitch is owned by Amazon.
not-
So
yeah. If
I
you
don't
have,
discount them popping in on
I-
through that.
I guarantee you they'll be front paged when they release. Like there'll be a playthrough that they front page of them playing it because Twitch is owned by Amazon, Amazon is working with Star Citizen, and if you go to the Amazon Lumberyard website, there is only one game on there. Star Citizen.
They're very nearly pot committed in Star Citizen being a success with Lumberyard. at the moment.
Amazon has basically tossed the entire war chest of Amazon at CIG. Like there's
Make this
probably
work.
brain damage. There's probably brain damage how hard they threw their money at or at least their support at doming the CIG in the head.
Like
So-
the reverse Zelda, it's dangerous for us to go alone. Please
there
take us
are-
with you.
Yeah.
There are other games on the Lumberyard website.
Are there? Because there was when it was
There are
on-
now.
There are now.
There's like 3 or 4, but yeah, Star Citizen is on there.
Yeah. It used
How
to
many
be
of
the
those are
only
supposed to
game
be
on there.
AAA level games though?
They all were kind of looking at.
I have no idea. That I'm
So I thought only one
100%
was.
asking out of curiosity.
It is Everywhere, which is the guy that is like, it's kind of supposed to be like a GTA Online kind of thing. We don't know about.
Oh, okay.
It's made by one of the guys who's like directing the GTA Online thing, and he got forced out of the country. Leslie Benz. I don't know.
Like a player unground thing, like versus H1Z1.
Then
like
there's
that.
New World, Crucible, Something Initiative, and Breakaway in Star Citizen.
Yeah, Breakaway. They did announce that at the last TwitchCon. They announced Breakaway and they showed about it, which is kind of like a MOBA, but I wouldn't consider it a AAA. That would be like a level of like a Dota or a LoL. Which
Yeah,
is
Keep League
not-
of Legends.
Yeah,
out of
that's
this.
more like that. The classic AAA out of all of that, really, Star Citizen and maybe the GTA Online.
Feel free to add me on
knock,
League of
but-
Legends. See
Yeah.
the
But no, but that's the
Ew.
thing. Is that for a while there, Star Citizen was the only one on there. Like you went on the website, it was the only thing they had put on there. I think they put on more there. They put on there more there now, but they have a very tight relationship with Amazon and Twitch. So I would expect it to be advertised on Twitch. I would expect it to be heavily advertised on Twitch when it's released. I also expect there may even be rewards for, like, you know how you can get like the Amazon Prime
Ship
rewards.
skins, maybe?
There may be ship skins or some sort of like player skin or not player skin, but like armor that you get for Squadron 42 because you're a whatever. So I expect
I
something
want
like
my
that to
bleed
happen.
purple armor.
Yeah, like. But no, that's the thing. Is that like don't underestimate that as well, because Amazon is very invested in the project. They are very invested in this project. They want to see it succeed. So, and a lot of,
I have a quick question.
Mhm.
Do you think CIG is going to go like a public or IPO?
No.
Like that? No.
No.
Nah.
No.
No, because
There's-
Chris doesn't want the company.
Yeah, I was
to
gonna
be
say,
taken.
there's. Can you see Chris
Giving
being
up
like,
control.
yeah, let me give some of this control to somebody else.
He's done that,
no.
he's done that
Not
before.
again.
Has not worked out well.
Yeah, that's why he's
fine.
like, never again. No.
Okay, fine.
There's a reason
No
that this
question.
isn't Wing Commander Universe.
yeah,
And this isn't brought to you by EA.
or Microsoft.
Yeah.
EA Sports, it's in the DLC.
I was just wondering because Amazon has invested in Star Citizen, so I was thinking, I imagine a lot of people who would want to invest in CIG, but you're right.
That
They're
was
probably
everyone's
not gonna-
big worry when they first announced Lumberyard, right? It's
Yeah,
like,
they thought
oh,
that
they're
it
selling
was
out.
And to clarify, they aren't investors,
They're
they've
not putting
invested.
Yeah.
They've
Yeah.
put energy behind it.
Yeah, no, Amazon is not putting any money towards them, but they are giving them deals and they're doing lots of things like that for the products they already have. Like, there's probably a lot of, like, the servers we have now that people are like, oh, wow, everything's much better in 2.6.3. It's like, yeah, because it's Amazon. And because they're probably easier to be like, yo, Amazon, we need better servers for X, Y, or Z, and we still need the same
Origin.
rate. And they're like, yeah, why not? You know, it's,
How can we get these things to link up this way? What do your servers guys say too?
Yeah.
How do we, make this stuff mesh? And now they've got freaking top Amazon server people on it too. So
Yeah.
it's just bang, 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 bang.
that's the key with their not a partnership, but with their like deal with Amazon, I guess. But we don't even know the details.
It's a collaboration would be the best way to
Yeah,
say it.
collaboration.
Two companies collaborating towards a similar goal while maintaining their own identities.
All right. So the next question comes from Notorious DYD. What kind of civilian ship would you most like to see added to the game, and why is it a starter passenger transport?
Mine is a mini salvager.
Yeah. No, I would say a starter non-combat ship, like utilitarian ship.
This is the hard crux
I
with a
like the
civilian style ship is how are you going to make it interesting enough to be a player usable ship? as
I
opposed to
don't
one that
actually-
like you'd see NPCs flying around.
It would have to fit a role that would work in the universe. So like it'd have to fit like a non-combat role. I think that's what he means. Is like a non-combat ship. What kind of non-combat ship would you
Fastcar, when you're talking about a lot of people say like, hey, we need like a medium miner, we need like a medium and small salvage ship. I don't actually think that would work with what they're going for. Because if you actually look at the one ship we do have, the Reclaimer, like that thing is just a gigantic. The Reclaimer itself is small. The big part of the Reclaimer is the processing and the giant hole in the back.
Yeah,
I'm not actually sure like how you make an efficient. So what they talked about is that there's a difference between salvage and scavenging. Like, but
Yeah,
it
you
might be.
could see a Honda Civic style salvager.
You could totally see I could totally see like a ship based around like cutting off like components of the ships and scavenging like the more usability, like not taking scrap metal, not like putting entire ships inside of it like the Reclaimer, and it's kind of like a different thing. I'm not sure
Good
how
point.
they would actually like
like
down the
my
Reclaimer.
idea for the prospector, it's called a mini miner. Is like you have like some like a hull B or hull A going back and forth. You have a partner who's hauling the stuff that you mine and giving you the mule pack that you need to fill up and go back and forth and do that. I have the same idea for a mini salvager if they ever make one. That's my thing.
Grinds it up and spits it out the back so that it's one cube at a time, and then they come pick up the cube.
Yeah.
It could work. I would like to see a small science vessel, maybe the size of an RV.
Yeah, I was hoping that the
Like a Breaking Bad mobile.
What? I never
hoping that
said
the-
anything
Way
about
to
it.
hit that-
Isn't that the Reliant?
That is the Reliant. That's the Reliant Mako. No.
No,
Reliant
no,
Tana.
SCA.
No.
SCA. The Reliant SEC or whatever it's called. yeah.
Seiya or whatever. Seiya. Yeah.
Fair.
That is the science vessel?
Yeah.
There is.
I thought it had scanning
but
stuff, but I
the-
didn't think it had all the
Yeah,
science equipment inside
it's
it.
more
It
for
does.
scanning than it is for.
It's got
for
science. Scientific equipment like
Yeah.
analysts.
But it's more for scanning.
Yeah, it's not for experiments,
it's-
but
I want an experiment thing, sort of like a scaled down Endeavor sort of science.
Sir,
thing.
SER.
yeah,
My
sir.
bad.
Well, the
SER.
Reliant Sir, all the Reliant Sir is basically the ship from Rick and Morty, Rick's ship in Rick and Morty. It's all that is. It's just.
I don't see the
two-person-
benefit of giving smaller things the same functionality as
Sen.
bigger things.
Well, it depends. It's some functionality.
Yeah,
They're saying Sen.
yeah, the Sen. I'm sorry, the Reliant Sen.
I want something with like not just scanning equipment, but where experiments can be run. So it needs a little more room. It might be medium sized.
You talk about like kind of like freelancer size kind of thing.
Yeah, something with more equipment where you can load in stuff and find out details on different materials
We
and
haven't
what they
seen
do.
the DUR. This freelancer DUR could have something like that. You know, it's not necessarily advanced or good, but it's got cargo space for it.
Yeah, that was the first ship I ever bought, and I'm like, oh fuck, I need a game package with this.
I had game packages for the DUR back then. Well, I don't know when you bought it.
Not when I did it.
Not when I did it.
Oh,
originally.
okay, my bad.
Yeah, I remember
This
like,
is back when they were the Boob Lancers.
hey, what's up,
the-
Astropub? I bought a DUR. Like, what
Yeah.
do I do now? He's like, you're a fucking idiot. You need a game package.
Was that
Oh
actually?
god,
did I
you
actually
got
tell you that?
just the ship.
Oh, you mean not in those words, but I was like,
You
I can't log in. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah, I remember
You
that.
could have bought a
like-
package, then upgraded to the DUR.
You're like, well, did you not have one of the two ships first? I'm like, no, I just bought a standalone. And you're like, what do you think standalone means?
Well, to be fair, it's not really.
Clear.
It's not clear,
Yeah.
But-
on the website.
but at the same time,
I have like the weirdest.
Just so Chad
package.
knows, it was not anywhere near as crass as this. It was.
yeah.
We
Way-
shouldn't.
You walked me
shame
through it a
anyone.
lot better. than I'm leaning on.
I whipped my dick out live on stream and I slapped him in the face with it. That's exactly what happened. You know,
And that's the story of how I fell in love with Paul Shelley.
Someone clip that, please.
I don't think that like we should actually like shame people for like not understanding the whole
No.
website, because how packages are handled and
They're-
the RSF website is a nightmarish hellscape.
It's horrible.
I have the weirdest legacy package of all time, right?
Yeah.
I have a legacy like day one golden ticket Hornet package, right? That's my base game package, right? I then upgraded that to a Super Hornet, and I'm sitting on the weird expansion $50 model to do the visual upgrade to a F7A.
Oh, the military model.
Yeah, but it's only visual. It's
military
only the visuals.
Yeah.
So I have like the weirdest Frankenstein package, maybe in existence.
That's
Probably.
what I have minus the golden ticket.
Also my Banu Merchantman has the icon of a Archimedes. So that's fun.
I was gonna say my freelancer Max was originally an Aurora MR LTI. So and then I upgraded that to a beta, to like the whole chain to get to a Delta, and then it went from a Delta to a Hull A or Hull B with it, and then I upgraded the Hull B to the to the freelancer. So it's got like my freelancer has the image of a Aurora on it. If you look at it, it's
just a nightmare.
It's a nightmare. Yeah.
For the anniversary sale, I just melted a whole bunch of shit in order to buy a Phoenix, Conflicted Phoenix, because you couldn't upgrade directly to the Phoenix. So now I'm having to wait until my buyback tokens renew so I can buy back the stuff that I melted in order to buy it.
So the next question comes from Titanium Arc. Do you feel the game will have the same issues that others in regards to new players being unable to catch up with the original players in chips, money, notoriety, etc.?
Not
No.
really.
That's the weird thing about this game is what is catch up. Like,
Yeah.
Are you at that much of a disadvantage in this game by starting out?
They won't have LTI.
LTI isn't that big of a thing.
LTI
Exactly,
doesn't
that's
matter
what
a
I'm saying.
ton, though.
You know,
LTI is not going to be a huge thing. It's going to be a convenience. Like, I don't have to go press the yes, renew my insurance button, which is going to cost like nothing.
yeah, it'll cost like, I think they said something like, all right, so they said that they want insurance to cost about the same amount as your average an average mission would cost. And if we look at the average mission cost, like earning right now, it's about 25,000 UEC. So if it's about 25,000, 2,500. Math numbers. But
That's not
2,500.
balanced out yet, though.
Yeah,
But
it's not balanced out. But even if you use that equation, 2,500 AUEC for 6 months of insurance, 3 to 6 months of insurance, that's nothing. You get that in 10 minutes. Like it's not much of an issue. It's more of a minor inconvenience to make sure that you're throwing money in there. Now things will
Keep
change
playing
over
this
time.
game issue.
Yeah, it's a minor like,
Kind of.
hey, we want you to spend money so that you don't have rampant inflation. But at the same
My
time,
point is like,
Yeah.
my point was like for catching up. That's one of the things that new players like a year after launch won't have. They won't have LTI, and they probably won't have some of the subscriber flares, or I'm not sure, but there'll be some things that they won't be able to get because they're coming in late. But as far as catching up, they'll be able to do the same amount of gameplay. They won't be, and no one else is going to be out OP compared to them if they use the same components on their ships and stuff like that.
and it's not that difficult.
there's still
to
going to
get.
be some gap.
And
But there's never going to be that. Plus, there's the whole death of a spaceman thing, which is like, hey, you're dead now, so all that reputation, you kind of get a part of that, and all of that money.
I hope
you get
that's so
part of
hard.
that.
God, I
No,
hope they don't dumb that shit
it'll be a
down.
hit,
Yeah.
but not that big. Maybe
I hope it's a huge hit.
Yeah.
Like as much as people say,
Play
"Oh, I
safe
hate
and
this,"
get fucked.
don't cheap out. Like at the end of the day, what CIG needs to do is they need to make player. They want to make player life matter. If players' life matter, in order to do that, you really need to sit down and make life hard and make life.
Hard decisions.
Yeah, like do you want to fight or do you want to run?
If I want to make money
Try-
scavenging, like fucking people over and stealing their cargo, I may fucking die because of this, and there's serious consequences involved with that. Like big money, big dick, big decisions. Like
Mhm.
I don't know,
Exactly.
like
And there
that's
needs to
what
have
I'm hoping
consequences.
for at least.
Yeah. But and that's the other thing. That's the other thing about establishment is that death should cost, as well as a player. I guarantee you, there is a player who is yet to pick this game up who will be better than every single established ace pilot in the game right now.
That's not even a guarantee. That's a fact.
It's a fact. Yeah.
There's also the thing, like, something I think people forget a lot. It's actually something I had kind of like a profound moment, like a couple years ago, like maybe 5-ish years ago, 6 years ago. I got way into like hardcore Arma 2, like super modded, heavily like with the actual group Arma 2, like squad missions. We were making our own missions. We were doing like really bunch of gameplay, and what was happening is halfway through that, I realized like, oh, I'm not working towards anything anymore. I'm not progressing down XP. I'm not building. I'm not getting new gear. I'm not like progressing down like a loot cycle, or I'm not doing anything. I'm just playing the game because I think it's fun, and that kind of shocked me because I'd forgotten people do that. And so at the end of the day, it's like, what's the reward? What is all this stuff? It's like, hey, maybe just play the video game because the video game is fun, and maybe that's its own reward. And so when like you're talking about like when you're talking about being able to like will someone be at a disadvantage because they won't be able to get to this ship, it's like, well, maybe the incentive should be to go do what they want to do, not to be the biggest baddest space main in the universe.
Well, some people, that's what they want to do, but
Oh, yeah.
they might not achieve it if they start 5 years from now or something.
It's one of those
Or they might.
bad man
They might be
things that you have
that
to,
badass.
Yeah.
like you just have to come to grips with. Like, I came into Star Citizen super late. Like, I don't even know what the fuck a gold ticket thing is.
Yeah, right.
Like,
I'm a little secret. It's fucking nothing's what.
yeah, it's like, but still, I'm mad. I don't get it. Like people coming in now.
There will be people like that too.
Yeah, like people that want like LTI something or others and they can't get it. Sure, it doesn't mean anything, but good God, I want that shit.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll be honest. Like a year after launch of the real game and everything, I want to be like so rich in game that it'd be hard for anyone to catch me, let alone a new player. But that's just my dream.
Well, see, and that's the thing, is that at the end of the day, the thing that like that Delvac brought up, I think is important, because I think at the end of the day, once you're not chasing a goal, you still need to have something to do in game, and the dynamic nature of the missions makes things that not everything you do, every mission you do, is not going to be a cookie cutter same mission. It may be slightly different, but because each solar system is different, you're going to go to a asteroid here, which is in this part of the system, and you may have to go back to that asteroid a couple of times to clear it out, but it's never going to be the same group. It's never going to be the same kind of mission. It'd be changing up a little bit. And now that's not to say we won't have repeats every once in a while, but if it repeats, it's because the fucking Black Hand pirates were who you kicked out four weeks ago set up shop again.
but how do you make something that's disassociated from in-game monetary value? Because everything in not everything, but mostly everything in MMOs is driven by the economy, right?
It's also driven by experience. You got to think about that. How many people will play a new MMO because it's got a new raid?
But for how long?
Yeah, that's the thing. You have to constantly update those things.
Yeah,
but that's
or you make the reward for that worth enough for the economy.
Yeah.
And how do you make something that's so interesting and not necessarily related to the economy, that it's not making this influx in they're so much further ahead than everybody else, but it's still worth
which is why like every 3 years they gotta hit the reset button, launch a new expansion, and like it kind of like stages up, and everyone has to kind of like starts over at the flat level and goes up and up and up again. That's why.
How would that work for Star Citizen though? Because there's no gear.
Here's the dick move they could easily do.
Events that fuck over the economy, like the Vandal coming in and burning an entire planet to the ground.
All of your in-game assets have been gone. So you know what I mean? Like someone hacked or something, some major event happened, like a civil war between Earth and Terra. And now all of your fucking UEE credits are fucking worthless.
That's the fragility that I want in the game.
Yeah.
Or not like maybe worthless, because like sometimes if you fuck over a player that hard, they'll just quit.
Yeah.
But if it's like, hey, there is like a cold civil war going on right now in the UEE, and like everyone's if you are like if they think you might be like more Terra friendly than Earth friendly, we're gonna like lock all your credits. So like your bank accounts are frozen. So you have some assets, and maybe if this politically works out, so that would make people care about like political developments in the universe, and try to actually maybe influence that stuff a little bit.
Exactly.
They want their goddamn money back.
Yeah.
And then it's like maybe if this works out in like 3 months, you'll have access to your bank account again, and you'll have access to your Earth assets. But
and it would also shift people, be like someone who's on the border who may do business in Terra, may get their shit shut off because they're doing business in Terra, and then suddenly, as a trader, you're like, fuck Earth. You fucking take my money because I
now I'm going to be the richest Terran.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have Terran credits instead.
Yeah.
And I'm going to fight to make them independent. So my Terran credits are now worth a ton.
Exactly.
And the UEE's economy is fucked over, so the money plummets. It's like there's a lot of stuff
stock trading.
Well,
Kip is right in chat. That's why you bank with the Banu.
That's why you bank with the Banu.
Yeah, someone said that.
That's why I just like lulled like fucking.
I put all my
45 seconds
down
ago.
on Banu
I bank with the Banu is one of the funniest comments I've seen.
That's it.
Considering
Good job, Oleg.
the
Banu
lore makers,
the Caymans.
considering the Banu are considered like. The one thing I love about the Lore Maker's Guide to the Galaxy is that they basically revealed that the Banu are made up of a bunch of guilds, and these guilds are the law, but they also just want you to do. If you're going to do a job, you got to be good at your job. If you're bad at your job,
if you're going to do an illegal job, you'd be good at that.
Any job, but including a legal job.
job.
If you're bad at a legal job, you're going to get prosecuted. If you're good at an illegal job, even if they catch you,
You're
just like you're doing good.
Good job.
You're good. This is a good fake. Thank you.
Like,
it's like
the Banu.
We sell slaves.
Yeah.
The Banu.
What you do as long as it makes money, you dipshit.
They're very similar. They're actually very similar to the Duel. But they just like money, not murder.
Yeah. Money, not murder.
That's
Sometimes
it.
it's the same thing.
# money, not murder. God damn.
But they have like that clan structure. Like, it's actually very similar.
No extradition. All right. Next question is from Mayonnaise. If you were CIG dev, what information would you try to leak to the community, if any at all? If I was a developer,
None. I don't want to get fired.
I don't want to get fired. Yeah. There's
Jinx,
also
you owe me a blowjob.
There's also no amount of information that'd be worth leaking to the community because eventually it'll come out.
It's one of the best jobs in gaming right now. Are you fucking serious?
My answer is NDA.
Yeah.
Because Fastcard is actually a CIG developer, and Dolvac would tell us, but he's already leaked all this information because he's also a developer, according to the internet.
Have you ever thought about how hard it must be to be like fucking Matt Sherman, constantly in everyone's chat,
But you don't want to say
talking
the
back
wrong
and
thing?
forth, and not
I got some
leaking
crazy shit to
shit?
tell you, but I can't tell you. So.
Dude, I went on a CIG tour in Austin for PAX South, and I came out of that having so much stuff in my head. I'm like, crap, I can't tell anyone about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was in that tour with Fastcard,
Right.
and
We did that at CitizenCon where like we took the tour, and then like the relay crew, we ended up talking to people like at CIG, and like we were just sitting there like, hey guys, here's like the next concept ships for like the next like 6 months. We're like, fuck, just sitting there.
Like I'd say hats off to those guys, but I have a terrible hairline, and I'm not.
Which I'm not breaking NDA. Those are all out now. Like
yeah,
at the time it was like Razor.
Technically, you are breaking NDA because it's a 2-year NDA.
Actually, it's not. If you actually read it, there's actually a copy of it floating around.
Okay. All right. Next question comes from Codes. He asks, "Do you think they've been working on modular tech to the habitats, or do you think they have been working on the modular habitats similar to the habitats they showed off? So our hangar and the rest of our residents will be persistent in 3.0. So we'll be able to open our doors and fly out into the verse, so we can use our residents. Jesus Christ, use periods as our base of operations."
He's not a teacher.
What?
He's not a teacher.
What?
Yes. The answer is, do you think that the kind of modular tech they're using for outposts will be added to hangars for persistence?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You already knew that.
I don't think so at all. Like
For something as inconsequential as a hangar? I don't see why not.
I'm pretty sure that like we're conflating two different things right now. how they actually are going to do hangars like in the actual universe is actually great. Because if you're trying, I'm not talking over you right now. You're just muted, by the way. Yeah, bud.
When the hell did I get muted? How did I get
Yo,
muted?
can we drop some lulls in the chat, please?
Anyway,
God damn it.
The point is, like, we don't know how they're going to handle that stuff. They might just handle it like, hey, there's a hatch on the ground, and then like some shit just comes out of it, you know, and you land in there and poof, and then so like I actually don't think how they handle hangars is going to be weird because they've said multiple times like, hey, what's stuff to persist in the real universe? I don't know how that's actually going to work realistically, and I think to the same level of like those outposts is not going to be. I think it's two different systems.
Yeah. Well, I mean, go ahead.
The underlying procedural stuff where they could set up room systems, or they might have different hangar types like way out on just a starting colony where there's a base little hangar to grab. They could use it just to shift some of the rooms around for the room system. The one-to-one stuff, no, because they're completely different art assets that work different, but some of the underlying stuff where it's like, oh, well, we could use it to plug and play this system like we did with this because we finagled the way the items are tagged because, hey, everything goes back to item 2.0. They might be able to utilize it, but it takes some jiggery pokery to do it.
They'll definitely take concepts and like just design concepts from like everything else they've done, whether it be truck stops, whether it be like I don't even know how hangars are going to work on things like those. Like they were showing off like a month ago or so, like a truck stop that was like 2 kilometers like wide, and half of that stuff like we didn't even see. So it's like like I want to log off for the night. Can I just go stop there? Can I go throw my Hornet in there and make it poof into non-existence and then be good for a while? Like I don't know how that's going to work. And no one really does right now.
And there's no good answer for it either, right? Like, people are going to be like, well, why can't I just log off while I'm fucking stopped in my ship? Well, first, what's stopped?
You're not stopped in space. You're always moving.
Yeah.
And they've actually said for a long time that you'd actually be able to do that stuff. And maybe they will, like, because that's what the beds were originally going to do. They were going to do stuff like that. Who knows? This whole thing, this whole nightmare, this whole fucking video game nightmare has just shifted so much that who knows what's real and what's fake and what's been redone, what hasn't been redone, what concepts are new, what's been thrown out. It's kind of hard to tell at this point.
But we don't need to decide it because we can make the designers do it since they're working on the game. Go do your documents and figure it out for us, and then we can tell you why you were wrong after.
I mean, that really is the
That's our
greatest
pure
thing
depths.
about it is the more we talk about fucking any one specific thing, the more likely it is we are to get our fucking... Just a bunch of fucking angry kids in Walmart banging our fists against the floor for that Ninja Turtle.
Well, I think the answer is they've also
shop at Target.
Target. The answer is that there's going to be, we know that they're going to bring back the room system with Item Port 2.0. The item system 2.0. That item system,
they're not bringing back the room system. Room system doesn't exist
it's
anymore.
gone. It's dead.
It's like it's just the
Right,
item 2.0 does that now.
Right.
It's now part of that is something separate, and we know that it's also the same system that's being used for the modular rooms, in the sense that they're each being used. That's similar underlying tech, as Grokky said. Now, in terms of you being able to open up your hangar and fly out of your hangar, that is not item system 2.0. That is the multiplayer mega map. That's what that is. When the multiplayer mega map is out, that's the ability to be able to stream in assets. And they showed off the multiplayer mega map in like 2 or 3 episodes ago. They actually sat down and used a diagram to explain it with like boxes. That's essentially what it's worth.
So when you lift off in the ship and open the doors, then it loads in the outside because it's like, oh, it needs to load this sequence now. But until then, because the doors are closed, I don't need to know what's out there.
Exactly. So
unless you look through a window and then it'll show it to you.
So next question is from Dash Paragon, who asks, when did they say they were going to get to build their own Atlas of Planets? I must have missed it. This week. Previously, we don't have a detail. Like, I wouldn't expect this to be released on release. I don't expect Outpost
And
Bible.
They said not for 3.0.
and not
is
for
what
3.0.
was said.
So my guess is probably after release. It'll probably be the first thing they do after release because they don't need to have.
Oh,
Might be
viable
before
stuff.
that.
There's a lot of things that they say they want to do first thing after release, so it might be some things are going to be have to put down the line. But yeah.
But it's something that's being planned now because of the new planetary system. So,
And when they talked about it before, they actually said, yes, the players are going to be able to put down housing, essentially. When they talked about it before, they're like, I don't see why not. You basically uses the exact same system. If you take a prefab building, they just have to make inserting it into the world cool. Because once you have item 2.0, if you take cargo off of your ship and drop it on the ground somewhere, it would be the same as leaving a house somewhere.
But then you
It's
have to
no
reconcile
different on the
market
back end.
placing. Like if I can have a home front, why can't
could you have a
If you
marketplace?
can have a home front, what?
said like then you have to? I'm sorry. If
cut out.
can you guys hear
Yeah,
me?
we can hear you.
Sorry.
Yeah.
If you say yeah, of course you can have like your own house, your own modular, whatever, then you have to reconcile market placing, which is something that they've said that they don't want people to be able to like do, right?
No, they want to be able to do it. The band
That's like that's the merchantman, yeah. But like that, I think he's talking
Like a
about more
storefront,
like
sorry.
a permanent thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, and even a storefront, you'd still be able to like a planetary outpost would more than likely be a warehouse or a guild like hall, as it were. It would be a place where people would set up where they'd leave their stuff there while they go on expeditions, or it would be a place where they basically they keep their shit there. And guilds, like organizations.
But why wouldn't you be able to sell shit out of there?
You shouldn't be. You should. Be
There's
able to.
nothing saying you can't.
Yeah, but you.
And
you
even
can
if they
sell
don't
shit
give you a
in
system
deep
to do
space
it?
even so.
Yeah,
You know.
there's nothing saying, give me this many credits, I'm going to transfer you cargo off my ship.
Because
So,
I thought that they had said that they don't want players setting the price for things.
they aren't setting the price for things. Players will they'll
Because
always,
if you come to my house and you want to buy a gun from me, I'm gonna say, yeah, you can get it for $500 over there. I'm gonna sell that shit to you for $1,000, or you can go over there.
yeah, but the difference is that if I'm buying from a player, I can't confirm that player will actually give me what I want or that it's in a good quality. Because remember, quality also matters as well.
Yeah, it depends on how the trade system works.
Yeah,
And that's why, like with stuff like the merchantman, is like they're probably gonna build specific mechanics around that stuff, where it's just gonna be like a box on the ground, like a box on a shelf with like a cost,
kiosk.
like, and you hit the button and the item pops out and you have it and the money's transferred automatically, so you can't like jank that system out and just steal shit.
But if there's a way to drop an item on the ground and transfer credits to another player, people will find ways to sell stuff.
Yep.
So if there's credit transferring and you can release an item into the wild, they're selling right there.
Yeah.
Players will use it. They will just ask for a more efficient form of doing that to be fleshed out in the long run.
Which
But
brings another
they will do it.
question. How do you stop people from converting UAC to actual IRL
don't.
money?
You don't. You can't.
gold farming is going to be a thing at the end of the day.
It will always be a thing. How you curve it, though, is how every other MMO currently curves it. WoW, EVE, WildStar, everything in the universe curves it. You just do it yourself.
You sell it
just,
yourself.
Fuck it. You just
I
sell
mean,
it.
yeah,
If
yourself.
someone's else, if it's a market,
See,
someone else is
I-
going to do it. Then you put yourself in there. That's all you do.
And you undercut them
Yeah.
at such a fucking level that they can't compete.
I'm gonna say CIG already sells credit anyway.
Yeah, they don't do that, and that's part of the idea. Was they were gonna do that in the long run, anyways. So
And gold selling really isn't the only issue with gold selling is if someone could use it to fuck up the economy.
Yeah.
Which hopefully they could easily rectify, or B, someone could use it and there'd be like legal liability issues if they like didn't just like.
Weren't they saying like the economy is supposed to be like 1,000 to 1 player driven
10 to
versus
1.
driven?
Yeah.
10 to 1.
10 to 1.
I'm exaggerating,
Yeah, yeah.
of course.
90% NPC, 10% player.
So it's like even if
That'd
like
be some fucking
every,
big dick bank bandito dropping
yeah.
major money. And if that's the case, I'll let that guy fuck the economy up. Like,
Yeah, because it's daddy.
that's a
Warbucks.
big investment.
I want to screw this game over. I just spent $10 million to do
Yeah.
it. Then,
Thanks for your money.
then they get
If
slapped
that keeps
around in
my
5
game
seconds by CIG.
non-subscription based, good on you, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
But then like you gotta see that like like CIG was gonna, it's like, hey, like they said, like we're gonna limit like the amount per day, the amount per week, amount per month of UEC you can buy from them, and then it's like what the actual gold sellers will probably be doing is they would be targeting like a whale audience where it's like I want to get outside that limit, right? So like they would probably just be buying UEC from CIG themselves and then reselling it to you at a slightly higher price because that'll take no effort and just to get around that weekly, monthly, daily limit,
do you
whatever.
think you'd have to stop player-to-player or transaction, or not transactions, but
The only
transfers?
way,
Track it
the
and see
only
if it's
way to
weird.
stop that, the only way to fully stop gold selling is to stop player-to-player transactions and stop player-to-player trading and stop player-to-player
Which
and lose
kills
the ability
the
to
market.
drop items on the game, which they would never fucking do because that would make the game awful.
But Novak, I disagree. I don't think gold sellers will buy credit directly from CIG then sell them for
Cheaper.
whatever. 'Cause, I mean, first of all, they would get caught, and I don't see how they can make a profit.
Well, it'd be easy to make a profit because
I don't even know if it's about making a profit. It's about outdicking the next big dick.
Well, no. It's the only reason why Chinese gold sellers would do it is so they can make money, and if they can make a significant amount of money where they're paying people less money to gold farm than they're making from the gold farming from the gold they're selling as it is in this case UEC. That's the key. It has to be reasonable for them.
Like if they could drop $30 on UEC from CIG from like an account, they have like 150 accounts, right? And so they could every day they could drop $30 on 150 accounts. And they could, if there was enough demand for players buying stuff outside the system, that they could flip that $30 worth of UEC for $40, then they would do it because it would be easier to do that than to have a bunch of like horribly abused 20.
I don't know. They might be able to pay them less than $30 for $30 worth of credits farmed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the thing.
They do work in shitty conditions.
Yeah, and a player, the answer is that more than likely, if they did it right, they did it correctly, you wouldn't have big gold farming machines. You would have individual small gold farmers. One person who does whose their job is they play the game, they get money, and then they sell that money to other players. But the problem is that the problem with gold farming in general is that it's a out-of-game third-party experience, and there is no protections. There is no sales protections there. Whereas if you're dealing with CIG directly, there is sales protections. Like they have to give you the money that they paid for. It's part of law.
On top of it, there's always risk of account bans too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because they will notice an odd large transaction from some two players that have never interacted, that all of a sudden one sends a large sum over, or they send it over for a crappy item. That's going to get flagged in the database. They're going to go, what was that about?
That's literally the exact job that my roommate does in
yeah,
is monitoring transactions like that.
And it's easy for there's even automated systems now that'll catch that kind of shit real quick.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the only reason why you don't see it all the time in things like credit cards is because they have smart systems that know, oh, this person purchased this on this time and this date. This is a plane ticket to this region. So, oh, this person who's buying this stuff in, you know, Chicago, we know that they had a plane ticket to Chicago with the same card or a similar card. So we can, you know, we know that's the reason why they're using their card there. But it's the reason why, like, if you buy like $30 in gas in your hometown, and then somewhere in New York, someone's using the same card to buy $150 worth of like lingerie, then you're like,
jujubes.
Yeah, they'll immediately go, whoa, something's weird here. And so, but the same set of systems you could easily use in place for catching gold
how much
farmers.
lingerie do you have?
You're breaking up.
Oh, you don't even know. You don't even know.
Oh.
I know. I sent him most of it.
Will you stop stealing Cam's shit? Seriously.
No, it's all his own. She got annoyed. He has his own collection.
Collection. So next question comes from Broken Matt, do you think when the new patch drops, content drops will speed up, or do you think we'll still held back into big drops? I think we'll have a combination.
Hot fixes.
Yeah, we'll have ships will come out quicker, and patch bugs will get patched faster.
Like, what do you mean by content? I guess is the question.
Like entire solar systems, features, those kind of things. Those will still be in big drops, but we'll have smaller fixes more frequently, and even ships will probably be released with those smaller fixes because it's not as much.
Well, here's a question: what do they still need to do in order to get Star Citizen out? I mean, leave out Squadron 42 because there's not enough information about it. But we need to have solar systems. We need to have some ships.
Subsumption.
The AI really is the thing.
Yeah.
AI and UI.
Mission
That's really-
system.
And the basic gameplay stuff. We're
The
talking,
entire economy that still really isn't even been talked about how it's going to be introduced.
That would be the basic gameplay stuff. The economy, cargo, mining,
trying to
scavenge,
figure out
salvage.
how expensive ships need to be.
I think the question should be like, how soon after 3.0 do you think we get the other stuff that was given in the presentation?
Paul's going to say 2 to 3 years.
Well, I think a lot of the things that they promised at CitizenCon in like the 3.1, 3.2, 3.3 will show up in 3.0 because it's been
right, and then they probably consolidate stuff from 3.3 on in 3.1 and stuff like that. So maybe
a lot of the stuff that was supposed to be out in 3.1 is now being added into 3.0, and that's because simply they've taken so long to get 3.0 out that stuff is almost done, or it's in a phase that they can get it done.
Well, yeah, because it's weeks, not months, guys.
Now, at the end of the day, I think what we're going to start seeing is it'll probably take about a year to 2 years total to get everything to 4.0. It will probably see 4.0 by the end of next year, honestly. But in order to even get to that point,
before that,
that's honestly the most generous time estimation I think I've ever heard.
CitizenCon 2018 4.0.
Probably. You know, the thing is that the key with the biggest block is 3.0. 3.0 is the biggest patch that will ever be released ever. Just looking at the sheer amount of content and the change to the game. It's
the future of the game.
It's the foundation of the game.
Yeah, like if 3.0 launches and it shits the goddamn bed, and you log on to Twitch and you click Star Citizen and there's fucking 150 viewers, they fucking failed. Super
I
hard.
remember having this exact conversation like a year
for 2.0
about 2.0.
yeah. About 2.0 or 3.0?
2. I remember having this a year ago plus some. I remember having this exact same conversation about, man, if 2.0 will come out soon, it's bad. It should. I remember having the exact same.
And that's what happened. Is it came out in 2015 and it was not bad. Like was it crashy and shitty? Yeah, but it worked. Like the systems all worked in it when they were supposed to.
Except
code sucks.
3.0 is let's introduce almost all of the game mechanics that make up the base
of the game. Yeah. Yeah.
Paul, random question.
Yeah.
Random question. How many times have you gone through this presentation now?
At least 4 times.
I've actually been counting. It's 7.5.
It's.
I haven't counted shit.
I have 4 videos. I'm gonna add some more to this. I have the big guns of the UEE. I've got the Drake Buccaneer commercial that they released, and I've got the Prospector. The problem is that this is the longest video I have on there. I could put on the Gamescom 2016 video as well, but this whole thing lasts about 30 minutes, and we've been going on for about an hour and a half.
And I don't know if anyone knows professional wrestling terminology at all, but how much of a mark am I that every time that the all black, the flat black Connie comes on the screen, I just
That's what you've been doing. I noticed that.
Because it's so pretty. It's so sick. God, that flat black Connie. Ugh.
So, we kind of went over that one. Next question comes from Broker Matt again. For those who remember SWG cities, do you think we'll see that kind of thing in Star Citizen?
What
Maybe.
city?
Star Wars Galaxy.
What?
Oh.
Star Wars.
What about it? I didn't hear the first part of that.
Something tells me Greg uses a Star Wars Galaxy expert.
Oh, yes, he is. He worked on
I
it.
worked on it.
Yeah. Star Wars. The question is, Do you think Star Wars Galaxy cities will be kind of that kind of scale for Star Citizen outposts?
Eventually, it's possible. They'd have to add extra elements of gameplay, which I can see them doing over time. I actually think the cities could be a lot larger than the ones in Star Wars Galaxies. For example, Star Wars Galaxy City and the large ones, I was with a group that played and we set one up. And there was probably 150 houses in our area. We had a shuttle port. We had the city hall, several guild halls, a few rebel bases around. Like, this thing was considered massive. I could see them being a hell of a lot bigger in Star Citizen if you get enough players together. Like, they decide this fringe planet is going to be a new colonization effort and push into Vanduul territory sort of thing. And they want this moon or this planet to be the forefront of that. You could end up with 1,000, 2,000 players deciding, yeah, we all want our territory here. And if they add in an ability to put down a city hall and tax that region to be able to, put a house in there, you could end up with large, sprawling, vast setups of cities where people are even managing stuff like, all right, I'm one of the city planners, so I have to give you permission to put the building down, or I can put one down and then give you the building so that everything's city planned and they have people have fun doing that. They could, with that, potentially basically play a version of SimCity through Star Citizen.
Yeah, to a degree. And then they've even talked about Chris Roberts even talked about that way down the line. He said that kind of thing he wants to do eventually.
This is well past launch.
Yeah.
Yeah, this would be well past launch sort of thing, but those systems could be built up over time, and they weren't even there in the start of SWG. And to answer Underscore's question, if you feel like it, it's kind of out of date at this point, but it's still a fun experience to go back and look. He asked if we should play the SWG emulator. I've heard it's good, a nice throwback, but it's really out of date.
It's dated. It's dated. Like the couple of things that I would like to see that Star Citizen do is what with that kind of stuff is they could easily use the kind of system that they already have or building in for the NPCs, similar to how Conan does its NPC. You can take NPCs, turn them into slaves, and have them do jobs for you. But in this case, you could hire NPCs or recruit NPCs to come to your settlement and become settlers, so long as you have amenities for them, that sort of thing. That's, again, a long way down the line.
No, the only difference is Conan is kind of like the NPCs are also items, and then you put them in your pocket and then run around with them.
Yeah, that's true. But what I'm talking about is the similar system to where the idea that you have NPCs that will do jobs for you that you don't want to do. So you can focus on the game rather than focusing on the grind.
Ugh, fuck that. If a grind is part of the game, to a degree, I think you should have to fucking grind it.
Well, here's the thing.
Every game has grind.
Every game has grind. The difference is that having an NPC do it may take longer, but you don't have to do it yourself. But it also takes a long time to be able to and it costs money to hire NPCs as well as that. So it's a matter of gameplay and what kind of gameplay you want to do, while also trying to maintain the right kind of.
I think Conan's doing a good job of it right now. Whereas if you have an NPC that can help you do it,
that's what I mean.
It takes you less time, but not necessarily that they'll just do it out for you outright. I don't know. I don't really like that.
I'll see something like that.
I don't know. You could hire an NPC to say overclock certain equipment to whatever specs you pre-set up, but they might not do it well. Some of it might break, and it costs you money, and it's a chance of a problem. Or you could hire a player that likes doing it, because most of the tasks in game are probably going to be things players like to do. Someone out there will be willing to do it for credits.
Yeah.
People strip for a living. Who wants to do that?
I do.
No, I enjoy that.
Wait, you get paid for that?
I mean, in dollars,
way up to it.
All right, next question.
I get paid in change.
Yeah, let's skim over that one.
Let's move over the sexy stripper, only because we're heading to another 3-hour captain's table here. We have We have 4 more questions. This next question is: would anyone like to see? Way after release, a Star Citizen TV show, Machinima or Live?
No. No.
Hell yeah, if Trillium does it.
No.
If
No.
Trillium does it, I want it to be a Squadron 42 or like a story, like maybe a TV series set into the game, but not.
I'm not specifically
live
saying CIG hire Trillium. Yo, CIG
CIG hired Trillium.
hire Trillium.
You should have hired Trillium a while ago, but you know, we're not you.
Sure.
We are you, but we're not you.
The only reason I bring that up is because I can't be a Trillium and a CIG shill at the same time. Or can
I violently reject the idea of like Star Citizen media because I know it's not going to be good.
Now, here's the thing. Like, I could see the single player storyline behind Squadron 42 or one of their other IPs being made into a movie or a TV series. That could be done. Look at The Expanse. Look at Dark Matter. Look at
What if they did that Walking Dead video game style thing?
Oh, I don't doubt something like that would be kicked
Like
around
a
at some point.
Telltale Star
Yeah,
Citizen.
just Telltale, yeah.
Hold the fucking phone. Are you suggesting that they take the story of Squadron 42 and they make it less of a game?
No,
No.
like
Like how they did
a
Borderlands.
different game out
disconnected. Yeah.
Yeah.
completely
Like how they did
hilarious.
how they did
Of course, we're all
Tales-
submarines with our fucking guns and shooting shit and flying around. But what about the regular people?
I'm
I
actually-
could see a
I'm
Telltale
actually
series about
completely
regular
for this.
people
I'm
getting
actually
attacked by Van
completely for
Duel.
That'd be hilarious. Squadron 42 episode 3 is just like Walking Dead style.
The Walking Dead style.
With no warning. It's not
Yeah.
Space Sim. It's not Space Sim
It's
anymore.
that. But I mean, that's the thing is that like I could see the IP be getting to that point where they would do strange things with it. Now, do I think?
Walking Banu.
Well, like I would. Do you think like? Do I think they would have a live series or a machinima series that would be made by them when the game, like when Squadron 42 comes out or when the actual game is released? Hell the fuck no. They're refocusing on the game. There's no point. They don't want to sell their IP to anybody. They want to make sure it's protected and very who has access to it isn't be important for them. But do I want to write it off as it'll never be a thing? No, it'll probably happen at some point. You know, especially as Star Citizen and Squadron 42 start to age, which will happen because Squadron 42 is going to only be, if Squadron 42 is released this year, we will have a Squadron 42 every 2 years until the third episode comes out.
But Paul, you're forgetting, on our 10th anniversary, we'll have this Squad 42 special edition.
Yeah, but at that same time, you're going to want, you know, some other things so that when they try to desperately milk this trilogy to do 4, 5, and 6, and they do Squadron 42 Andromeda, and turn it into
Remember when you used to have facial animations? Fuck that shit. Putting all that shit out.
No, but then they'll just do the prequels.
yeah,
No,
it's just prequels.
they can't afford to do it, so it's just the same facial animations from like Gary Oldman,
From
but
Gary
like
Oldman.
applied to a different person. So it's just super fucked up for some reason.
Oh,
But he's also
And
a
I-
character
and I-
development for some reason.
And the face
With
is
a
tired.
fucking plastic hairpiece.
The lip sync because he's saying other dialogue, so
Yeah.
it doesn't even sync
Doesn't
up
even
with
work.
Yeah, it doesn't even sync up with the Brio. It's
I'm looking at Greggy's
Stronger
while
than yours.
Joelback is talking, and it made that work.
Oh, next question comes from Anti Rules. He says, "How vicious / dangerous do you think wildlife will be? Can I get killed by a hippo? And do you expect planets where wildlife is crazy deadly? Like
if I don't
trying to
have
any
explore
idea
Flash
how
and dinosaur
deadly
level
hippos
trying to
are?
kill you?
Crotch spider.
I just have one thing. I don't want to meet that 9-legged spider that they made. in
Crotch
the
Flying
game.
spider?
I'm not
It's a
looking forward
flying.
to it.
It's a flying spider too. is
Flying
basically
spider. I'm not
Flies,
looking forward to
yeah.
seeing that in the game.
Yeah.
What do you think the Banu Seaman's for? It's a peace offering.
Yo, I'll get real docile over some Banu semen.
You get like an ice cream scooper. And you scoop it and you just fling it at it, and it just skitters away after it. It's dripping everywhere.
Captain's Table, episode 42. The
Banu Seaman.
Banu Seaman.
Oh, 42. I didn't think about that.
Semen demon.
I picked the right episode to come on. 42. Good.
Yeah,
It all comes back to Banu Seaman.
Oh, alrighty. Last two questions.
CUM's back.
I'm gonna see how much children I can insert it into
You
the
noticed.
questions.
There are so many good quotes in this episode. I love this episode. Thank you guys.
This next question comes from not Eric McKetton, who knows, who's obsessed God damn, this is a long ass name. Who's obsessed with MST3K? Does anyone here have early access to preview of MST3K Season 11 starting tonight at midnight? I do.
What?
I don't know.
Right here.
You said a bunch of
what?
letters. I don't know what
How?
that adds up to.
Cut to this.
How do I? Huh? How do? What?
So there's a new
You
season.
just broke Grey Keys.
Well, I
Of
know
MS
about that, but I didn't know there's preview access.
I didn't know either. I think Eric McKetton may have
You mean
early
not
access.
Eric McKetton?
Yeah. Well, it's because he kickstarted it.
Oh,
Kickstarted.
that's right. They did that. Damn it!
Yeah.
Where does he
McKetton
live,
also
and how can I
kickstarted
get
my
there and
Bob's
murder him and
Burgers.
watch on his computer?
It's in Washington. Go find him.
DC or state?
State.
Oh, I like that question.
Might not make it there in time with a flight. Let's see. It's possible. Depends
If
on
you
which.
grow, may your
midnight
forehead
time frame.
grow.
Last question of the night, and then we'll answer the Gurketchin questions. Do you think the community will make arenas that become competitive RP arenas, or will it be more like a mod server where watching GTA RP servers is really interesting? Yeah, you'll probably see a modded server that has RP, and more than likely, because of how complicated Star Citizen's making, you'll either have to rent a server from a Star Citizen provider like Amazon, or you'll have to have some sort of ridiculously high-powered server. More than likely, if you're going to do it,
Are you talking about main game stuff, or like
like the
things
idea
that they would just do through electronic access?
No, so like the idea is the idea is that Star Citizen will support mods and private servers at release. That was an old promise. Now the game is much more complicated since then. So the only way I can see them continuing to do that is if you could rent servers from Amazon that will basically give you maybe a couple of systems, but not the full.
That's the big
full
part.
thing.
The test server
Yeah.
where you get
That's-
fucking UEC for running your ship into stuff?
The only way I can think that they could actually ever make good on that thing in a way that would satisfy people is that they just go, fuck it, dude, here's the server code. Like, you have to make it work. It's not our job. And if you figure it out, you need about $10,000 worth of server hardware to make it work. Someone will do it.
Yeah.
A lot of
Releasing
someone
that kind of
doing it.
code, though, that's a lot of proprietary knowledge that they might not want out there.
There's
Well,
people.
I mean,
That's a lot of info that they might not.
Well, they
want people
promised
digging
it,
in.
so I mean, they probably should have thought about
I mean,
that.
you have to realize there's people out there with fucking like 5, 6, 10 javelins. Like, there's people out there willing to throw fucking fuck you money at this game. Like that's not a whole lot of money to give up a fucking entire game code for.
Well,
I guess I'm arguing the wrong point. Like I get what you're saying.
It's going to disappoint people how they do it, no matter what they do.
Yeah.
I could totally live with them being like, "Hey, you can like what you're saying is like push this button." It's like they could Minecraft Realms it,
Mm-hmm.
and just like that would be the obvious way they could do it. I think if they actually want to make good on the promise that they made, they have to like, here's like 5,000 gigabytes of server code and like a 400,000 page PDF. You have fun. You go for it, buddy. And someone will figure it out.
Well, I mean, and I don't know if you guys remember this, but in the freelancer physical package, they have a physical book for modding that comes with the package. So it may not be that big, but yeah, there will be a modding book.
Maybe.
TM.
No, it's part of the package.
Yeah, it's part of
Maybe.
it. How to do it. Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, to be fair, also a thumb drive with the entire game on it was also part of the package, and that's not going to happen. So
No,
So
it's
what?
gonna be a thumb drive with the launcher on it.
Yeah, that's what we're thinking.
Yeah.
and the book is going to be just a book that says the word mod over and over again.
It's
Mod,
gonna
mod,
give you a
mod,
link.
mod.
It's gonna give you a
It's
link
going to give you a link
to a
to the
PDF.
code to get a PDF.
Yeah.
It's a 500-page book of just modding.
Okay,
repeated over
okay,
and over
that is
again.
possible. I have to admit that.
That's hilarious.
If they just get the most non-technical person, they get like an artist to be like, "Hey, just fucking bullshit. This entire thing. You have 42 pages of bullshit, and it's just complete nonsense, techno dribble, and it makes no sense, and no one can comprehend it." Just-
Yo, Disco Lando, right? This fucking.
It's
man.
all written in Arabic.
Yeah.
Oh,
He just copy pastes like a technical document. Google translates it into Arabic and then back to English a couple times, and just like pastes in there. Ah.
Arabic, Gaelic, Chinese, traditional. Just bounce it around.
Ah,
See what
fuck!
happens.
I only read Mandarin.
It's just horribly translated. It's just awful.
Now I need to do that just to see what comes up with the tech document. Hilarious.
so
We get some good results.
someone did ask a good question in chat that didn't ask it, and we'll just do this. To
Oh,
the
so
end-
by
end
the
of
way, fuck everybody else has asked questions because those were all shit questions. Here's the good one.
no, because that was it. That's the end of the questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the last question. Other than underscore who asked how many vests does Paul own? I own 3. Actually, technically 4.
Yeah, his fucking dry cleaning bill is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't dry clean, and I should. It's the problem. That's why.
You
these things
really
are getting
should.
on. Yeah, because these are really nice. Well, they're not nice vests. They're cheapo vests.
What you're saying is they were nice vests.
They were. No, but someone asked about the size of the newly shown Benu weapon. My guess is that Benu weapon is fucking big. It's
Yeah,
probably
what the fuck? That shit sounds
I
so
don't remember
OP.
seeing it.
It
look-
was on the newsletter.
One,
It was on the
It looks cool as
Yeah, we're
fuck.
gonna lose.
Oh, it was in the
Two,
newsletter?
It
Yeah.
sounds
Yep.
broken
Okay.
as fuck.
I can find that
It's
easily.
a-
Unless
it's
they
a
make it
tech
really
gun.
hard to aim.
Was it the
So-
Drake Over edition thing?
Yeah.
No, yeah, actually, maybe. Oh,
I don't know. I got all the info off of my org.
Yeah.
but it's like a tag gun can. I actually think it's gonna be smaller than you think. I think it'll be like
Oh, there it is.
to like a size 3
The
weapon,
Singe.
maybe.
I linked it.
Yeah. That thing
Yeah, I
looks
see it.
big and it looks bulky. I think we're
Why,
looking
thank
at
you. Oh, you're talking about the gun.
yeah. I'm thinking that this
What
thing,
picture did you
Can we
link,
keep
Fast Heart?
Fastcart's dick out of this fucking conversation? We don't need to talk about things that big.
that's scary big. That's like Gaiju monster.
It's got like
big,
a fucking
you know?
size 12, right?
Wait,
Yeah.
do you just say it's scaly? What the
No,
fuck?
I can't tell. I mean-
I said kaiju monster.
Yeah, right. I mean, it could be just a highly detailed hand.
What?
You know,
What the fuck are we
Size
talking about
gun.
right now? We need to stop.
Someone get
Like,
Godzilla in here.
Can
We
we
need to
stop
take care of
talking about your
Fastcart's.
penis, please?
Or are you actually linking?
Talk
at
about
the,
a monster blowjob.
Are you actually looking at the
Yeah,
the
can you-
picture there popped up? Is that
I'll
what
link
you're
it
saying?
again.
But
Is it-
anyway, it's supposed to be a long distance,
it.
high damage Banu weapon.
I think it's probably
Used on the Defender.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
My
supposed to be like a sniper rifle.
guess is that the Defender
Size 4.
is probably the size of a freelancer, if not.
Yeah,
The Vanguard.
yeah. I would say it's a little smaller, like more small to medium sized.
Yeah, it's a medium-sized ship. I don't think the Banu
I
have
can see being a
fighters.
size 4 gun, single
Yeah.
center size 4.
Mhm.
I
Maybe a
could
size
see
5.
something. I could see something like a lot like a Terrapin, where it's kind of small, but it's not really agile or anything, and it's just a big gun on the bottom.
Yeah, I mean,
The flip
I
side of this, the flip side of this question is that we're trying to guess how big the Bandit Defender is.
yeah, no. By
Basically.
my guess is that it's going to be about that the Bandit Defender is probably about the size of a Vanguard, and that kind of style, and that may be one of the only weapons it has on it, but it'd probably be a massive weapon, like a size 5, like the same size as the Vandul weapons on the glaive.
The plasmas.
To
Yeah,
me,
right.
that weapon says like tier 3 to tier 4.
Yeah.
Just from looking at it. No, here's the
I
twist.
was
Here, wait. Here's the
looking at it
twist.
for.
That gun is the Bandit Defender. It's the whole thing. That's the ship.
It's just a gun. It's Megatron. That is the Bandit Defender is Megatron.
See that like the hot thing.
Confirmed.
That,
Banu
No, no.
are the Decepticons.
Paul, no.
I'm
Paul,
done. I'm walking out.
Paul. Galvatron.
Galvatron. I thought Megatron was one who turned into a gun.
They both do, but Galvatron was his own gun. Megatron, he had to have someone else fire him.
Dropping the knowledge. He's got stunned so
I'm a
much.
nerd.
now.
I'm a nerd. I'm sorry. I'm a
Transform
blur.
and roll out.
That's a
Ah.
great
Had to do it.
voice.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Thank you for like everybody here for doing this, for ruining my Twitch channel as always, and making me regret
With
life.
Banu Seaman.
With Banu Seaman. Oh God. But those of you guys who are watching, thank you guys for showing up as well, hanging out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed yourselves. We do this I try to do it every weekend with the things like moving. I can't guarantee it. We will be doing it next Saturday, and it'll be a Britison Con special. We'll be having a Britison Con attendees who are content creators will be here. We'll talk about Star Citizen. We'll
Can
talk
you
about
rename it to the
BritisanCon.
Brexit Con version?
Brexit Con. Oh yeah. Then the week after that, we're going to during Britison Con, we'll be having another Captain's Table. But after that, we actually have the SC4 tournament, which will be going on there. So yeah, pretty packed schedule for this month. But if you're watching this on YouTube, you can watch this live every Saturday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, 10
Why would
p.m.
you ever
GMT.
do that?
Or you can, and if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for watching it, and please hit that subscribe button, or don't, and just put a poop emoji in the comments. Let's just put a poop emoji in the comments. Yeah, or down there. Yeah, just somewhere. Give us a poop. Just give us your shit. And like I say every night, I hope to see you guys again soon. But if I don't, hope to see you someday in the black. Have a good night, guys.